If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Put it in the box!
This is your radio home for New York Mets baseball. 880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it is. Carlin, Bart and Carlin. No Bart, though. Dan Grassa in 800-919-3776 on 880 ESPN New York, of course, over on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Good morning, Daniel. How goes the battle?
Good morning. How is it? Interesting drive-in, of course, as always, huh?
3 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah. See, I wasn't that bad. I was like a little over 2, but still not ideal. Not what you want, as they say.
No, it's not what you want. Left my house. Was it 3 hours and 10 minutes? No, it wasn't quite 3 hours and 10. It was 3 hours. It sucked. How about that? That'll sum it up. It sucked. And your day one back from your vacation, which really wasn't a vacation. I stayed at home, and let me tell you something. You can have the staycation because there was no relaxation to it for me for whatever reason. There wasn't. It's not that I was doing crap around the house. It was just none of it felt like a vacation in any way.
Did you accomplish anything? Like you said, you didn't do a lot of things around the house.
So little. So little.
You know, I meant to clean out that closet. I meant to clean out that drawer.
I hung 2 pictures yesterday. I probably was supposed to hang about 7. So
now let me ask you a question. How long did it take to get the 2 up and sturdy? And
not long. Not long.
So you nailed it. No pun intended.
Well, no, I mean, yeah. My wife was right there with me, making sure I wasn't screwing up the measurements, and I can't blame her for that.
Sure. But make sure they're level, even.
Yeah, all of that stuff. But no, I got nothing done there. I got nothing done last week, and here I am, ready to go and talk sports with you. Not cranky, but just not what I would term relaxed in any way. So
you're not relaxed. That's what I'm saying. So
no, 3 hours this morning will take you right out of it.
That was brutal. That was and the torrential rains didn't help, obviously.
No.
Not what you want on a Monday to start the week. I'm right there with you. But
no, this is a great spirit in which to begin the week. Yeah. That I have just come out and I am Mr. Gray. And here's how I can prove it.
Yeah.
That I am so remarkably unimpressed with St. John's. And it's so unfair for me to come out and say that when they are in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999 in 27 years. And yet all I can look at is and say is, my God, they should have just blown the doors off of Kansas yesterday. Kansas is such an unorganized mess of a situation all season long, and their talent ultimately carried them. And the fact they even made it a game was a knock on St. John's to me. But listen, I guess I don't always want to be negative. I don't want to be this guy, Dan. We could turn this into a therapy session if you want. I don't know why I have to be this guy, but I came out of it like this. I've watched a lot of Kansas basketball this year. That should have been a 17-point St. John's win, especially when they were up 11 in the second half.
Oh, look, I agree. And look, at the end of the day, especially in this tournament, we always use the analogy, survive in advance, and that's the aim in this tournament, right? Because, you know, I equate the tournament, whenever you're talking about, like, single elimination structures like this, right? Mm. To me, being a big tennis fan, it's the same deal. Like, sometimes, even if you're going to win a Grand Slam as a tennis player, like, you need to be challenged in a match, I think. It's very rare you're just going to waltz through everybody in straight sets. Like, you can have a third round or a fourth round match to where maybe, you know, you're down 2 sets, or you're going to have to really dig yourself up from, you know, complete desperation. And sometimes that fuels you a little bit, and it corrects some of the crap that maybe you have in your game. And I think the same thing applies here with the tournament, because we were talking before the show. There were teams in round 1 that looked like world beaters that looked like they never played basketball in round 2, and vice versa. Like, you know, look at Duke, and they were playing, you know, Siena in round 1. And they were not impressive. They were down double digits at the half, but they got their act together and they won the game. And then they came out on Saturday and reminded you, oh, that's why they're the number 1 overall seed, right? Texas Tech and I know that they don't have JT Toppin, for example, but they look great in round 1. You're like, wow, Grant McCaslin might actually get this team to a Sweet 16 without a first-team All-American. And then last night against Alabama, they looked putrid. Alabama, another great example. Hofstra, for how long, was believing that they could maybe pick Alabama off in round 1. And then last night, Alabama goes out there, and, the game was over 5 minutes in. They beat Texas Tech by 30.
They ran them out of the building.
So that's why in this tournament, you never know. But, look, I thought St. John's, okay, when a lot of people were sitting there throwing cold water, had the committee screwed them, how were they a 5? And I think there's some element to that. But I said if you allow yourself to take a step back and you look at where they got placed, I still think they were in a good spot to get to the Sweet 16 because of, like you said, this Kansas team, if you've watched them all year, they were Jekyll and Hyde head case with the Darren Peterson stuff. And so I thought, all right, if you're looking at St. John's, Kansas round 2, St. John should win that game. They did. I know it took a last-second layup, but you know what? They got themselves a trip to D.C., and my gosh, was that a fun little Final Four in that regional final coming up on Friday night in the nation's capital.
I will say that.
That is amazing. Good luck.
That.
I can't wait till we get to Friday. What do you think the get-in price is going to be for that?
It's got to be. I heard Dave a few minutes ago talking about like $700 a pop.
And that could grow. And that could grow.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the UConn's going to travel, obviously. Michigan State always travels. And the St. John's fans will be loaded for bear trying to get into the building because they pop their heads up every few years when the team actually starts to do something. And now you're back in the Sweet 16 for the first time in a long time. I think it's great that they're there. And you're right. Maybe I got away from the mentality of survive and advance, but I think it had something more to do with the fact that I just came off doing the Big 12 tournament, and I've seen a lot of Kansas basketball this year, and I'm like, this is exactly what they are.
Right.
They should be running away with this, and they didn't. Now, having said that, I want you to, for a moment, just appreciate how much this is painful for me to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have been, there's no other way to put it, a Rick Pitino hater for a long, long time. And primarily because of all the off-the-court stuff.
Right.
Everything he got himself in with in Louisville, how quickly he bailed out on blaming everybody else in Louisville. I didn't know anything about anything.
Right.
I mean, it's all just crap. Mm-hmm. And about how many times he was in a job and was already working on the next job, which, by the way, don't think that's dead here yet.
Wasn't Iona's last job supposedly?
Yeah,
right?
The last 6 jobs.
When he was given a
job in
lifeline.
Greece was his last job because I love basketball that much. But I cannot deny that Rick Pitino has worked his way into potentially, definitely a top 5, if not a top 3 basketball coach of all time.
In the college level, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And honestly, in some ways, I include all coaches in that. And he's done an amazing job to make sure that he had the talent. But even when he doesn't, even when he hasn't had that same level of talent, they were talking about this during the game, and I think it's so true. Rick Pitino is one of those guys that I ultimately respect the way he coaches because it is about what his team can do and how he can frame what the talent on his team can do and how he can frame his system around it. It is not, I am going to jam down your throat what we do, and this is our identity all the time. It's, no, let me see what we are, and I will figure it out around that.
Right, and I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of moving parts now when you look at the modern-day college game. Like, you're going to have there's a whole new roster from this year to last year. From the year before that, his first year here, to what year 2, year 3 was. I mean, guys are going to come and go. You got to get used to that. So in a way, I actually think that makes it more difficult and more challenging, don't you? I mean, when you're sitting there basically having a brand new team each and every year, it's not like, oh, I recruited this kid. He was a highly touted freshman. He's going to grow on the job. And then by this time he gets to his second, third year, he's going to be one of our captains. He's going to be our. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, I think it's very difficult. You could talk about paying players, and he's got Mike Rapoli to pay the players. I think it's very difficult to build chemistry quickly.
Right.
And I think the teams that have the most success late in the year, and this is an obvious statement, generally have done that the best. And it's why over the years, we would see some of these teams that you wouldn't expect to make it to the Final Four get there when Butler had their little run. They always had really good teams. They had, guys who had played together for a long time, and Gonzaga had guys who had played together for a long time and understood what their team chemistry was about. It's so much harder to do that now, and the fact that he does that with ease and the way he builds this is remarkable.
And that's why you see a guy like, for example, at UConn, Alex Caravan, right, who won 2 championships. He hung around, and now he's a 4-year guy. And, for instance, he's the quote-unquote elder statesman on that team. Even though that Dan Hurley still brings in young, talented players, and, most of them are just going to be one-and-dones, for example, because they're just so talented. That's a guy that stayed, toughed it out, and is essentially kind of like a coach on the court. They don't win that game last night without him, by the way. He was sensational last night. And those guys are like dinosaurs in the sense that they're few and far between. They're extinct in college sports now, right? And, you and I were talking before the show. I mean, this was a distinct possibility before this tournament even tipped off on Thursday. And you heard all the talk from everybody around the country. Look at the last couple of years since we've had NIL and transfer portal and everything. There's not Cinderella anymore. The mid-majors are not making deep runs anymore. And you look at the Sweet 16, who's here. You got one double-digit seed, and it's the Texas Longhorns, who probably underachieved this year, if anything.
I don't think there's a probably about it.
Yeah, anybody know? I mean, Texas has got more money in their athletic department than God, okay? Sean Miller is an accomplished coach who's had a lot of success and not exactly, a saint, off the court when it came to the stuff that went down in Arizona. But nevertheless, bottom line is, if that's your so-called, upstart or Cinderella, that we don't have any. And I think those days are gone as long as the current model's in place. So if you're a St. John's, you better get with the program. And when you have the vitamin water backing with Rapoli and all those things, I mean, that's the way you're going to have to play ball nowadays if you want to be competitive.
I don't know how teams who are – you're not going to see the Cinderella runs. You may occasionally – I mean, when you think about it, what's the biggest upset we've had? The 12 over the 5 in this tournament, right?
Right, and Wisconsin choked that away against High Point.
Against High Point.
Yeah.
And High Point, you talk about having money. I don't know if you've seen some of the things about High Point. They chartered a plane for 200 students to fly from North Carolina to Portland. And they've got, that university has got a ridiculous amount of money to work with.
I think that's preacher funds right there. That's what that is.
It's not even, I don't even think they're, are they a,
They might be. They might.
I don't think they are because they're like a life skills school.
Or am I thinking of Cal Baptist? Might be.
I think you're thinking of Cal Baptist because this is Dan. High Point apparently has
affiliated with the Methodist Church.
It is
High Point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, apparently on campus they have a simulated airplane cabin where students will go in and basically learn how to give their elevator pitch for a job as if they were sitting next to somebody on a plane. It's so bizarre. Their whole thing is about networking and about all that. Anyway, that's completely aside. But that's what High Point is. So they've got a fortune. So I'm sure that those kids, on the High Point level, they were always this season a pretty good team for what they were. Anyway, point being, you're right. The upsets are not going to happen nearly as much, and certainly the Cinderella runs are not going to happen anywhere. You're not going to see Florida Gulf Coast in the Final Four anytime soon.
It's not. It's over. You know what I mean? At least for the time being, until things change. I don't know when they're going to change, but this is what you got. Now, some people might like this because you have a lot of blue bloods. We talked about that East Regional right now. Duke, St. John's, Michigan State, and UConn. Duke is Duke. And then you got 3 other Hall of Fame coaches there. I mean, Hurley's not yet, but he will be, obviously. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And, who knows what John Shire's coaching career is going to lead him to. You got Iowa, Nebraska. Same conference. They're playing each other in the Sweet 16. You got 3 Big Ten teams, and the 4 still standing in the South because you got Illinois there, too. I mean, look at some of this stuff. It's incredible. Michigan's playing Alabama. Texas is playing Purdue. I mean, these are heavy hitters here.
Yes. Yes, they are. And there's no reason to think that any of that changes anytime soon. I mean, is it Is St. John's the lowest seed still there besides Texas?
No, I was a 9.
I was a 9.
I was a
Good
9.
Call.
Yeah.
Good call.
I still don't know how they won that game yesterday. Crazy.
I'll tell you how they won that game. Florida decided to not play defense on the last play of the game.
Well, Florida, I think, took off speaking of defense, they took off the first half.
Yeah.
They were like, and that game was in the state of Florida, too.
Yes.
It's in Tampa.
It was in Tampa. Shouldn't be that hard. I didn't understand that. But at any rate, I'm trying to be optimistic about what St. John's is capable of doing at this point. I don't think they could beat Duke.
No.
I would not expect it. And listen, then it all becomes about are they going to continue to be able to build toward a championship team beyond this? I would say, given what the landscape is, let's hope that vitamin water sales are up.
Well, I mean, like, if you look at the progression, like, obviously, like, it's been 25 years since they were in the Sweet 16. You think about where this program was when Pitino took over. First year, they win 20 games. They don't get in the tournament, and rightfully so. I don't think that they got hosed. Like, they didn't deserve to get in. They had opportunities. They didn't deserve to get in. Last year, Big East Championship, you're in. And I think we can all agree that was an upset, losing to Cal and Arkansas in round 2. That was an upset. And then the whole R.J. Lewis thing, not getting them off the bench late in the game or pretty much the entire second half, that was a disappointment. So that's why when I looked at this team this year, I said, okay, if you're going to be good, regardless of how the Big East plays out, you need to get to the second week of the tournament. That's the next progression, right? Like, if you're talking about building a championship team, you've got to get to the second week. So they've accomplished that. And now you're running into a team that a week ago was ranked the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. I don't think there's any shame in losing to Duke here. I really and truly don't. And Duke's banged up a little bit, but they got their act together in a big way against TCU on Saturday, which should put a lot of fear into everybody else that Duke is back a little bit. So, no, if St. John's goes out there and lose, I mean, nobody's going to expect them to win this game.
No, I don't think so. I was just going to look what the spread is. Have you seen it already?
I want to say 8.5. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I've not seen it as of yet. I'll get it up here in a second. That number feels, I would say, probably about right. Because that, frankly, I thought there was a chance it might be into double figures. Duke by 7.5.
7.5. Touchdown. But also, too, think about this. This was a down year for the Big East. It was a down year.
Yeah.
So you can also, I mean, if you really want to go, like, throw cold water on this, did they really have a lot of fight and a lot of challenge with a lot of their conference games throughout the season?
I think you would argue that they probably made it harder on themselves at times than they needed to, but no, I wouldn't say they had a ton of it.
Right? I mean, getting 3 teams in is all they deserved, right? UConn and Villanova. Creighton, which was a perennial tournament team, had a down year this year. Shaka with Marquette, same thing. They were awful this season. Sometimes that happens. Providence, and they blew out Kim English already there. Shaheen and Seton Hall had a great season, came up just short. But other than that, like, this was what we would consider a down year. Like, the Big East, normally, you're expecting at least them to get in 5. Maybe a 6 team could make a strong argument. Just 3 teams this year.
I don't want to take anything away from what they've done. It's been a good run here, and they should be celebrated for getting to this point. I think if they were somehow to beat Duke, all bets are off, and give Pitino the damn key to the city, right, as much as I can't stand him.
No, absolutely. And look, it only gets harder here. I mean, you look at what's left in front of them. I mean, okay, you got Duke. And then if you're lucky enough to get by Duke, you're either talking about Michigan State or UConn. You know what I'm saying? And, like, Izzo can easily be in the Final Four this year.
And I don't even think they're that good.
I don't think this is one of his, he's had better teams, obviously.
I don't think he fully trusts his point guard. Fears. Well,
He supports him, though.
He supports him, yes.
He supports
him. I don't know about that.
I don't. Right. I'm kind of with you there. I actually think Michigan State will beat UConn, believe it or not, in that one. But still, here's the thing, though. You're in a conference with a guy in Hurley. He's won this thing twice now. He won it back-to-back. Same league, same parameters. He found a way to get it done. And obviously, Pitino didn't take this job to get this team to the Sweet 16.
No.
He took this job with hopes of getting them to a Final Four, and then if things break a certain way, You're the one cutting down the nets. Mm-hmm. So there's still work to be done. And it's not like I don't think you have to worry about, if you're a St. John's fan, I don't think you got to worry about him, jumping ship anytime soon. Because at this stage of his career, where's he going? You know what I mean? I know
I don't know. He'll certainly make sure to get as much money out of them as he can.
There'll be a rumor. There'll be a rumor.
Of course there will.
Because the rumor
he's already planted
action.
it a few weeks ago about, there's an offer, but who knows, and he was asked again about the whole last job thing. Well, these things are fluid,
He's going to be 74. Most coaches, at his age that have done this as long as he has,
he's a vampire.
They're riding off into the sunset.
That's really what he is. He's a vampire. He looks like a vampire.
He's had some work done. He has.
Well, it's the pale, too.
Yeah.
It's the super pale.
Well, you live here. What kind of a winter has it been?
I understand. I'm not one to be pointing fingers at how people look.
I admire the pale as opposed to, what are you going to do, like fake tans? Don't go there. Go all natural.
You can't fake tan in the bed. If you want to fake tan with the spray tan, as long as you're going to keep it subtle, I can't kill you on that.
But what's subtle? There's varying degrees of subtle. That's the problem.
Where basically I don't look.
An orange hue.
Yeah.
You look like an Oompa Loompa. Yes.
If I can stay out of the orange spectrum of colors, that would be great.
I'm surprised, by the way, just on a side note, in this day and age where there's really a lack of creativity in Hollywood,
mm-hmm.
Aren't you surprised that nobody has bothered to greenlight or an origin story on the Oompa Loompas?
I can honestly say that this is the first time I would have ever even considered it, but I could say that about many things that there have been an origin story about.
Right? A lot of cases we're remaking the same movie 17 times. Whereas that movie itself has been made a few times over. Why not, do a little procedural as to, the beginnings of the Oompa Loompas, where they came from.
Are they really that fascinating of a group?
It's not that they're not fascinating. You can make them fascinating. You can make them a fascinating people.
Can you?
Really, I think if you get creative with the backstory, you can.
I didn't see the Chalamet Wonka movie.
That was, by the way, I'll tell you what that movie was. Okay? And I didn't pay to see it. I just stumbled upon it on cable one day a couple years ago. Okay? Remember the conversation we had in the meeting before the show about the Knicks-Nets game on Friday?
Yeah.
And that might have been the worst organized basketball game that has ever been played in Western civilization.
It's up there, certainly.
Okay? The Chalamet Wonka movie is the theatrical equivalent or the cinematic equivalent of what Knicks-Nets was on Friday night. And anybody that watched that game on Friday night will know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's rough.
No, it was. If he had won an Oscar like last week, they might have to rescind it based on that movie alone. If people ever were like, "Oh, wait, he did that." No, we can't give you this. No.
This is going to sound awful.
Yeah.
Did he win last week?
No.
No, he didn't.
Michael B. Jordan won.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan won for.
He was one of the two favorites. It was either going to be him or Michael B. Jordan.
So he was up for Marty Supreme?
Correct.
And not the other one, not the Bob Dylan one, or was that the year before?
That was the year before.
That was the year before.
Yeah. Which I still haven't seen.
I don't know why. I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen the Springsteen one either.
Me neither.
I probably should, but I don't know.
The problem with the Springsteen one is, remember, it's only a definitive, defined period piece. And it's not a period where, the fan base, it wasn't a very commercially appealing. It was Nebraska. Right.
Yeah.
It was pre-born in the USA. So it was kind of very just, it's meant to be sullen, kind of, in alone with your own thoughts and introspective and stuff like that, like the album was.
Did you ever sit there?
Where? Just anywhere?
Anywhere.
Okay.
In front of your television or in front of something, and you're trying to figure out what you want to watch.
Yeah.
And you look at something like that. And and it's the Dylan movie or it's the Springsteen movie, and you're just, I don't think I have this in me. I don't think I have this in me today.
You mean just to sit through a long movie like that?
Or just to sit through whatever, do I have it in me for a period piece, even though I love Bruce, about 2.5 hours that's just going to...
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you feel obligated, and then you're like, but is really... Well, that's why, I'll have things that are sitting on the DVR still for probably years, because I haven't found the right headspace.
You watch things out of obligation? outside
That's
of
what I mean.
sports.
Sometimes, yeah. Like I said, like just to do like a DVR cleanse. Like if I have things sitting on there, I'm like, well, I've put it off for this long.
There's
I
a
might as well
delete button.
Yeah, but again, here's the problem. If it's been on there for as long as it has, with the intent of you that are going to get around to watch it, you feel obligated to do it.
Give me something that you've done that with recently.
The Whale.
I never felt an obligation to watch that movie because I felt like I could have lived it.
No, I don't think
It's
you
a bigger,
could've lived
bad
it.
fat guy.
No, he
Or am I oversimplifying it?
Yes, but there's
I didn't ever watch.
There's fat is anorexic compared to what this dude was.
I understood.
And I know there's people like that, but I'm just saying, it was an award-winning performance. So I said, I'll give it its just due. I'll give it 2 hours of my time at home, comfort level, all those things. Finally got around to it.
Yeah. See, I find that every time I have ever done that out of what I felt was obligation, which I haven't done in at least 10 years.
Yeah.
Because my time has proven to be just so much more valuable than everyone else's.
That's the problem. We don't have time. I mean,
but that's the thing.
We don't have time for anything.
But that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm surprised you would do that, because you seem to be somebody that wouldn't tolerate that.
Well, the problem is it's like, the winter the way it was, we were, snowed in for what?
Yeah.
Felt like days, weeks at a time. So I actually had like 5 minutes to, or not 5, hey, all right, let's watch this. Get, free up some space on the DVR. And it happened.
Yeah, I hit the delete button. That's how I'm freeing up the space. I'm not doing it. But if that recorded and somebody else did it, or it was suggested to me or something like that, I'm not doing it just because.
Now, if there was an emergency DVR situation where memory is at a premium,
right,
then you have no second thoughts about the delete.
High Point
yeah.
also has an on-campus steakhouse students can eat at. It is also used to teach students how to do business over dinner.
Is it a franchise, or is it just like, High Point Chop House or something like that?
I don't think it's the Outback.
No, I'm talking about is it like a distinguished place?
Can you talk business over a Bloomin' Onion?
I don't know about a Bloomin' Onion.
Depends on the business,
but
doesn't
if we're talking Roots, Morton's, something like that.
I mean maybe it's one of those. I don't know if it's one of those, but I'm guessing if you're big enough, you have enough money to have a steakhouse on your campus, you're probably not going chain steakhouse at that point.
Our student center, we have like Wendy's, pizza, Chinese, not a steakhouse.
Tom, what do you got?
So the place is called 1924 Prime. Their website, it's an immersive learning lab that enables students to develop life skills, including business and social etiquette skills and an understanding of global cultures and cuisine.
I told you.
Here's the issue I would have with that and why it would be uninviting. If I wanted to go for a good steak, but then hovering around this whole thing is going to be the life skills thing and almost like an obligation to want to learn about certain things, maybe like business entrepreneurship, restaurant touring, something like that. Can't I just go to enjoy a steak without feeling obligated to take part in all these other things that they're teaching?
Tom, can you just go there to eat?
I believe so. That's why I initially saw it. I think students can actually use it on their meal plan. Now,
you can swipe and go into a steakhouse.
Right. Now, Tom, you said everything you need to know right there, because let's be real. It tells us one of two things. Number one, unless this is like right up there with the concession stand at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, where all the concessions are like dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Or the quality of said steak is not very good at all, because if you're using your meal card to be able to swipe for a, third-rate filet mignon or something.
This is a rich school.
Well, I'm saying, how much money these kids got?
Maybe
Trust
more
fund?
than you realize.
I've got them.
I don't think it's. What was the place that used to have the $1.99 steaks in the city?
Was that Tad's Steaks?
Tad's.
I've got their menu.
I don't think it's Tad's sitting in the middle of Grand Central.
I've got their menu up, too. No prices listed, but it does say.
They don't have prices,
Yeah.
It is a cellular phone-free restaurant. They went all fancy by saying cellular phone.
In other words, you cannot bring your phone in.
That's
so
right.
They have like a basket at the door? You got to leave your phone in the basket before you go in?
Is there a Wagyu? Is there a Kobe steak? What's on the menu there?
Let's see. I see a bolognese ragu, boneless pork chop, herb grilled chicken breast, primavera, grilled Norwegian salmon, petite filet mignon, and a New York strip.
I don't like the petite.
And they have a bunch of first courses and sides as well.
Okay.
What happens, remember during I'm sure they had to change policy. Remember during COVID where, you had to scan the QR code to look at the menu if you went to a restaurant? Remember that? Yeah. So then you need your phone for that.
Yeah,
what did they do during those times?
They still have it now everywhere, like in every airport in this country now.
Right, because God
Same
forbid
thing.
the airports can't, be bothered to print out a menu.
So, St. John's, Bart Carlin on ESPN New York, 800-919-3776. Are you now satisfied with what St. John's has done? Is this really, really just satiate you, or is it, I want more? Bart Carlin, ESPN New York.
More people trust their hearts to New York Presbyterian than any other hospital in New York. It's because New York Presbyterian has the most experienced cardiovascular doctors, treating a full range of heart conditions, from heart failure to valve repair, with the most advanced treatments. Find a doctor at nyp.org/heart. New York Presbyterian. New York Presbyterian Hospital, based on U.S. News & World Report 2025 to 2026 cardiology, heart, and vascular surgery rankings.
Very busy morning on the roads, the rails, and at the airports. We've got 1 hour delays at the George Washington Bridge coming in from New Jersey because of a crash investigation still going on at the Harlem River Drive ramp. Lincoln Tunnel 40, the Holland Tunnel with a 30-minute delay from the Turnpike, 45 plus from 1 and 9. And the BQE going southbound, westbound 278, a crash. 2 left lanes are blocked with the truck involved by the Williamsburg Bridge. The eastbound LIE by Francis Lewis Boulevard. Accident in the right lane, Staten Island Expressway, broken down dump truck center lane before you get to the Verrazano Bridge. LIE by Ronkonkoma, a crash on the shoulder by exit 59. As you've heard, LaGuardia Airport with that fatal plane crash. The airport is closed until 2 this afternoon. I'm Bob Williams on 880 ESPN New York.
Attention New York Verizon mobile customers. Score a massive win with award-winning Fios Home Internet for an incredible $20 a month guaranteed for 3 years. Switch today for savings you can count on. Call 1-800-VERIZON now. For new Fios customers with AutoPay, mobile and home discount enrollment required. 3-year price guarantee applies to the Fios base monthly rate only. Additional terms apply.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
It feels like everyone's sick right now. You aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I was just traveling. It was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. Having a medical emergency kit is like having urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. It includes essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's your kit the moment you need it. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's genius. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. I can save you $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Let me say this. If you're an experienced superintendent in Jersey and you know you're better than the situation that you're in, Tricon Construction wants to talk. They're building serious multifamily, medical, and industrial projects across the state, and they're looking for leaders, not babysitters, real projects, real support, real backing from ownership. If you're ready to step into something bigger, go to triconbuilds.com/careers. That's triconbuilds.com/careers. And yes, it's confidential.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Discover where your future can take you at SUNY Canton Spring Open House on Saturday, April 25th. Explore exciting new programs like data science and analytics and cybersecurity, designed to prepare you for today's most in-demand careers. Tour campus, meet faculty, connect with current students, and sit down with financial aid representatives. Plus, attendees can enter for a chance to win a scholarship. For registration details and information about courtesy bus trips from New York, email admissions@canton.edu. SUNY Canton, your future starts here.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
Evan Cohen here. In life, as in sports, the pros make it look easy. That's why pro golfers like Jason Day, Ben Griffin, and Patton Kazire trust the pros in lawn care. True Green. They have the experience and expertise to give you a lawn worthy of the PGA Tour. And since True Green does the work for you, you get more free time, or more tee times. So stop stressing over your lawn and start loving it. Sign up now at TrueGreen.com because nobody makes it easier to get a golf course quality lawn than True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
Bart Carlin, ESPN New York, ESPN New York YouTube channel. You should go there. You should lock in. You should watch the show. The cord is either too long or too short on my headphones. It's the same thing every day. It's too short, I pull them out. It's too long, it gets tangled up in my feet. And then the next thing you know, it's tangled up in a chair, and I'm a complete disaster. Dan, why can't things just be simple? Why can't it just be simple?
Well, like you said, you don't have a lot of variety, though, when it comes to the cord, right? It's the same what you expect it to be every single day. So it is a little surprising that it happens. It's something you got to come to grips with. I think you could do it.
Listen, I think I could, too. But
I think you have it in you.
I'm not doing it yet. It's not. There's just a part of me that does not suffer anything. I'm not cranky all the time. I just walk past any sort of inconvenience as if it doesn't exist anymore.
Did you get the whole thing straightened out with the charger thing? There was issues
we're up to 5% right now. Things are going great.
But it's working.
Yes, it's working. Things are awesome.
Headed in the right direction.
800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. Baseball is actually beginning. And we are beginning it on Wednesday with the Giants and with the Yankees, and, of course, Thursday with the Pirates and the Mets. I have to say, I wouldn't use the word surprised, but there was a lot made over the weekend of the fact that Sean Manaea is kind of the odd man out at the moment and going to be the guy who's, backing up other guys as far as jumping on their back at a piggyback situation in starts and such. I wasn't really thrown by it, and I'm not even remotely concerned by any of that at all because it's very clear every single season that you are just going to end up in a situation where they need you anyway.
Right. How many starting pitchers a team go through anyhow? Right. I mean, take your pick.
At least 10 or 11 at some point, right?
If you can keep it to single digits, job well done.
Yeah.
That's any team will sign up for that right now. And by the way, if you just want to talk short term, think about this. Who's the dude that technically right now is the fifth starter for the Mets? A guy who's always hurt. So if I'm Sean Manaea, I'm thinking, yeah.
TikTok.
When am I going to be back in the
Should
rotation?
be any day now.
Right. Do we even make it to April?
I do want to hear from him a little bit. Here he is. First of all, here's Carlos Mendoza on Manaea pitching out of the pen to start.
We are going to use him on a piggyback tandem, but we're not necessarily going to announce which game he's going to be pitching. So 6 guys throwing the ball really well, and we were pretty honest with all of them at the beginning of camp. Everyone was healthy. We're going to have to make some tough decisions, and one of them will be pitching on that type of role. And the way we see it is he's taking that turn right now, and probably 2 times through the rotation because of the schedule and the off days. We don't feel like we need a 6th starter yet. He's gonna make starts for us. So this is a couple of times through, making sure guys go through their routine, and we'll revisit when we have to, and maybe there's somebody else's turn at the time. But for now, that's kind of the decision there.
And I have no issue with it, and I understand. What would bother me a little bit about it is simply that when it comes to pitching, I really have not had a ton of reason to fully trust the decisions made by David Stearns along the way, because he ultimately decided on paying Manaea last year, and that didn't exactly pan out.
Right.
Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. You backed up.
Yeah,
as if I told you I got a gun.
I appreciate the heads up.
Did you see that, Ray? It was
awful.
Fully loaded. It was like he just walked into a bank and saw the guy say, "Everybody hands up," and it was just backing.
Well,
you backed up like it was Homer Simpson into the bushes.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. Because
you're a bit of a germaphobe, are you not?
Well, I was sick all last week. Sick for the last 2 weeks. So
okay.
I'm on the other side of the fence now. So
Let
I
me
want to
say
stay that way.
You see this?
Yeah,
I'm not sick.
No, but my point is, I don't want to leave it to chance at all. But see, somebody could give you a heads up that they're going to sneeze, which you did. So
which I thought,
and
I covered it.
But here's the problem: I've witnessed way too many people, even if they do somewhat take the proper precaution that they're sneezing and they're going to try to cover up, they don't do an effective job covering it up.
How would you rate how I covered that up? You can be honest.
It was passing. It was
satisfactory.
Satisfactory. It was a passing grade. But some other people they'll do the arm shield thing, but then they don't You know what I compare the arm shield thing to? It's like the Tom Coughlin Tiki Barber, how to hold the football. You got to hold the football because you can put the arm up here,
right?
And then they do this, but then
everything goes down below,
and then out
to
the universe,
right?
But you did it. That was a satisfactory job by you.
Put my hand up,
yeah.
Turn my head to the right, away from you. But the look on your face when I said I'm going to sneeze,
because like I said, it was like. It just became
no, it was never a fight or flight thing. It was always a flight thing.
Because I was sitting in that seat for, like I said, all last week when I'm thinking to myself, boy, if I sitting in that seat, the way I felt, imagine that again. I don't want that. Don't want it.
I mean, did Bart do that last week to you? Or?
No, I'm just saying when I was here, I was only with Bart, I think, 1 day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else was when did Bart leave? He left. He was not here Friday,
He wasn't here Friday,
okay.
No.
At any rate, the Manaea thing with the Mets, that's what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting wrapped up in it because I fully expect him to be a major factor for them this year. But if I am going to be, I've not really fully bought into everything David Stearns. And the pitching for me has not been, I don't feel like he's made great decisions along the way. And when he made the trade to go get Freddie Peralta, this was done, I wouldn't say under the guise that this is an ace, but boy, they slid him into the opening day spot pretty quickly. And granted, I understand what's around him. I just look at his history, and he's had really one year that you would call great.
Well, I mean, he's an ace based on tenure. And back of the baseball card.
Oh, that excites me.
No, but he's not bad.
You've been around. You can be the ace.
Look, here's the bottom line. When he was in Milwaukee, when they had Corbin Burns, when Brandon Woodruff was healthy, and they had Peralta was no better than the number 3.
No.
Those guys were better.
Yeah.
One guy was a Cy Young winner. The other guy was, Cy Young caliber. So he was no better than number 3. And I think in a perfect world, if I do have a championship caliber team, Freddie Peralta to me still slots in probably as a good number 3. Look, I don't care. I don't care who starts opening day, and I think fans maybe because back when we were younger, that was a big deal because, guys' routines and pitch counts and stretching out, that wasn't compromised and altered in spring training like it is now. Everybody, you knew, when February 1st hit, who the opening day pitcher was going to be for every team.
Let me put it another way. If we were talking about this was the playoffs starting today, then I don't think there would be any change. Peralta would still be the guy.
No, Nolan McLean. I mean,
you think McLean would be the opening day?
Well, not if it was today, but I'm just saying, give it. If the Mets are fortunate enough to make the playoffs, which they should, I would be shocked if all things equal and everybody's rested that Nolan McLean is not the number 1 starter.
No, I understand. I was saying more if there was no season, it just went playoffs, and this was it. Right now, I would expect it to be Peralta as well.
Right, but you know what? Look, the thing with Stearns with the pitching, too, 2 years ago, he took a few flyers because, remember, the Mets weren't expected to win 2 years ago. They had very low expectations. The first year of Stearns and Carlos Mendoza, and they took a flyer on some reclamation projects. Luis Severino, Manaea, right? Trying to see if they could turn those guys around. And they did. Severino got back to where you expected him to be. Manaea pitched well enough to where he was essentially their ace, right, going into the playoffs, and he just ran out of gas, but it was still he pitched well enough to get him a new contract from the Mets, and that has not aged well already. So last year you had some missteps. You know, it looked like it was working out for a while. You know, they took flyers again on guys like Griffin Canning, and Griffin Canning was outstanding.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, he friggin' gets injured. He, tears up his knee or whatever, trying to field a bunt or whatever it was. They turned Clay Holmes into a starting pitcher that worked pretty damn good. So he's had his swings, he's had his hits, his misses, whatever you want to call it. And the only reason those three kids got called up last year was out of sheer desperation. They were that desperate late in the year because they had no pitching.
Of course.
Now, McLean probably should have been called up sooner than those other two because just based on merit. But, yeah, I mean, they're still going to probably have to dip down into the minor leagues at some point this year. And you're going to see Christian Scott. You're going to see Jonah Tong at some point in time. You just hope that it's not until way down the road and things aren't as dire straits as they were a year ago.
I look at this, and I don't know what it is about Stearns. Maybe it's been the unwillingness, even though he made the trade for Peralta, to potentially spend the kind of money on a frontline starter because he just is of that mindset. I don't want to give a guy 4 and 5 years who's a top-level starter because it just doesn't work out. Like, I don't know that you can say that for sure. I think when you're making a deal like that, do you have to count on a guy missing an entire year? Probably. If he has not had Tommy John, or he is certainly well enough removed from it that he might need it again. But it's almost like when companies write in leakage into their finances, in the supermarket, when things get stolen or things, bottles get broken or things like that.
Clean up in aisle 4.
Exactly. I worked at a supermarket. They used to just
Which
count
one?
that. A couple different ones. Back in the day, I worked at a King's in New Jersey, very high end.
Oh, I like King's.
Oh, King's is good. Expensive.
Very, very. Good luck getting the fresh fruit from them.
Oh, my God.
No, King's is good, though.
King's is kind of a more of a it was Wegmans before Wegmans, but smaller.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
it's a little boutique-y, if you will.
It's like that Summit Chatham-y, like they have a couple there, right? Like, yeah.
And then also the A&P.
Good old A&P.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember Edwards? Do you remember Edwards? It was
I don't
green.
remember Edwards.
There was one in Highland Park near campus, believe it or not.
All right.
Yeah, that kind of went by the way, so there were a few of them.
You'll educate me.
Yeah.
In moments. Bart Carlin, ESPN New York.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Nobody comes through 100% of the time. The greatest players in the world, the best basketball player in the world, misses a shot with the game on the line. The greatest quarterback makes a bad throw. And baseball is the one sport where failure is done more than success. You gotta stop. I'm going to tell this one little thing to Yankee fans. If you don't like Aaron Judge, then you're really not a fan. You're kind of a jerk.
The Michael K. Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge, or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Time to bench those other job sites and let ZipRecruiter help you build your championship roster. What's the advantage? Well, with ZipRecruiter, when you need to hire someone fast, you get them fast. But you also get the MVP for your team. Plus, ZipRecruiter doesn't make candidates wait to take the shot. It passes the ball right to them. Building your team or scouting fresh talent? ZipRecruiter runs the full court with powerful technology that immediately gets your job in front of the right players. That's why over 4.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. And why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster, smarter, and more efficient from post to hire before the competition can even cross half court. It's a slam dunk with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
Adam Schefter here. It's tournament time, when only the most talented teams survive and advance. And whether you're cutting down the nets or cutting through resumes, one thing's clear. The best teams are built with the best people. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. Their smart matching technology finds qualified candidates fast. You can add screening questions to get the right applicants and even filter to see who's recently active. Score the best for your team with ZipRecruiter. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports.
Smalls here. Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your 6 figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year 1 needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, they've seen it all. And they're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box.
Out on the course, they're the PGA Tour's best players. But in the arena, they're prime time. And Season 2 of TGL presented by SoFi is back with lights, cameras, action. We're talking big moments, big personalities, big names in the stands, all on the big screen. Big-time matchups with shot clocks, hammer drops, timeouts, overtime, and playoffs. It's city versus city, squad versus squad. The sport just hits different under the lights. It's TGL presented by SoFi. Keep up. It's golf. Tune into every match. Only on ESPN.
Harry Douglas here. I don't wait for birthdays to celebrate. I grab Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes like rich vanilla birthday cake with buttery funfetti goodness. Seriously, it's unapologetically extra in the best way. And it's sugar-free, so I get all that cake flavor without the guilt. It's tiny, portable, and ready for whenever I need a quick boost. I keep one with me because you never know when you'll need a little party energy. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or on Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
NBA fans don't just watch the game, they live it. So stream like you're courtside with NBA League Pass. Your ticket to all the action. Watch your favorite team shine and catch the league's brightest stars and rising stars at the same time with multi-view on your favorite devices. From the plays you can't believe to the most live games and the drama that comes with them. If it happens on the court, it's happening on NBA League Pass.
Only select out-of-market games available. Blackout restrictions apply. Additional charges and other conditions may apply. Visit NBA.com/subscriber agreement for full terms and conditions.
ESPN New York YouTube channel. That is where you can make sure that you are a part of the show, and you can do so very, very quickly. And we will, as a result, show you how that works exactly, because I'm going to read you some of the comments that we've gotten already at 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Tsunami, I hope Dan is wrong about Michigan State. I hope Dan is wrong about Michigan State. Dan said he thought Michigan State is going to be UConn. Sooneron, High Point supposedly has the best food of any campus in the country. I'm telling you, this is like...
Yeah, but wouldn't we have
this
heard
is a
about
country
that?
club.
But wouldn't we have heard about that, though?
I don't know.
No, they said it verbatim. The best food of any campus in the country. I think that we would have gotten that information by now.
I don't know. I haven't seen like the campus food rankings in a long time.
But I think that would have like surfaced.
I would have thought.
I mean, High Point, as soon as they get the automatic bid, they qualify for the tournament. It'd be like, High Point, oh, that's the place that has the best food in America of any campus.
What? They have another fine dining restaurant?
Yes, they do. They have two, by the way. And
what's that one? French?
It's called Alu. It is Latin, I believe, but it's essentially the same thing. You got fancy stuff there. It looks like they got some risotto, some salmon, some beef fillet, that type of thing.
Risotto.
I like a nice risotto.
Some smoked tomato risotto.
Oh, that sounds good. Sooner on also checking in. Occasionally my dinner was a big grab bag of Cool Ranch Doritos and a Dr. Pepper. I don't know if I would ever even get the big one. You know what I saw a lot of when I was in the Midwest at that at the Big 12 tournament? You ever see the? Well, no. You ever see the walking taco? A walking taco. Are you familiar with the walking taco? Ray?
Like a guy in a costume? Like a walking taco?
No. Are you familiar with the walking taco?
No, I don't know the walking taco.
Tom, walking taco? Walking taco.
I've never heard about that myth before.
Here's what it is. They sell it at games in the Midwest. You take a bag of Doritos, your choice, regular or Cool Ranch. You slice the side of it, so you open it from the side, and then they dump in guac, salsa, sour cream, cheese, give you a fork, and you eat it like that.
So it's like a taco bowl.
Exactly, but it's a bag of chips with all that stuff on it, thus the walking taco.
They ripped off the Frito pie.
Chock full of healthy
Frito
ingredients.
pie, isn't that an actual pie, though?
No, it's the exact same concept. It's like you're putting all that stuff in a Frito bag. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you eat a Frito pie out of a bag. I thought that was an actual pie.
No, I think it's a Southern thing.
No. Listen, a Frito pie, I love Fritos. The only problem with, I don't want to knock the good folks from Fritos. Let's just say about a half hour later, I'm not feeling great after I eat Fritos. But I love Fritos.
In a while.
Fritos are, they are elite level in terms of taste.
Do you go the OG Fritos?
Oh, yes.
Not all the different flavors.
Not the chili cheese, not any of that. No.
How many are we up to now?
I don't know. I haven't looked recently.
Because Doritos got out of hand. Like, we have 100 of those.
Yeah. I don't need everything to be fire. I don't need everything to be fire.
Yeah,
and
you're
I don't
paying
mean
for that down the other end, and then you don't want fire there. That's the way it works.
No, but walking taco has no interest to me whatsoever. But I saw this at a Rutgers-Iowa basketball game several years ago, and then I saw it again last week. People just walking around with the bag and a fork, sour cream, guac, salsa, cheese on top of chips. It's not even really mixed together. That's up to you.
Speaking of Iowa, it's amazing, too. Like, when they beat Florida yesterday and they're on to the Sweet 16, you don't realize, because they had good, when Fran was there all those years, they had good teams every year.
Yeah.
But their shortcoming was in the tournament. You don't realize they basically are on almost like a St. John's run when it comes to the drought to get to the Sweet 16.
To the Sweet 16, yeah.
It's late 90s.
And
it's crazy.
And they were always a ranked team.
Always a ranked team. They had a National Player of the Year, for crying out loud.
Is he in the league
He's
still?
in Celtics.
That's what I thought. Yeah. He's actually playing a little bit.
Yes, and that's why, when they signed him...
He's a better pro than anybody thought Luka Garza was going to be.
You know what the funny thing about that is when they signed him, there was a series of moves that were made, and it made you think that, boy, the Celtics are really just going to tank this year with no Jason Tatum. Because it really looked like they were just going to kind of all right, we're going to have to put a team out there, whatever. I saw Luka Garza at the U.S. Open this past year. Just walking. He was obviously the tallest person there.
Yeah.
Just walking the grounds like a normal fan. Luka Garza.
He probably had some free time in his hands.
Absolutely.
It's Bart Carlin, ESPN New York.
You wouldn't want to play a whole season with a bad knee and hope that it just gets better, right? So why would you do that in real life? If you have back pain, neck pain, or sciatica is slowing you down, you need a real game plan. That's Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain, Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no meds, just precise non-surgical treatments designed to get you moving again. Same-day or next-day appointments are available. Most major insurances are accepted. Go to SandwellPain.com and get back in the game right away.
This baseball season, FanDuel is letting you choose your own reward for opening week. Betting customizations that transform how you experience the game. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home of home runs, so if you want to throw a few bucks on Aaron Judge hitting a homer for a game you're watching, or maybe Juan Soto doing the same, you can do it on FanDuel. So,
Ready to play your game? Head to FanDuel.com/local to choose your reward for MLB's opening week. FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next MLB bet. FanDuel is the home of home runs. Must be 21 and older and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions do apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369.
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, get Verizon Fios and a line of mobile for just $64.99 a month with AutoPay. Get Fios 300 megabit per second for $20 a month. And unlimited welcome for $45 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Additional terms apply. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
Discover where your future can take you at SUNY Canton Spring Open House on Saturday, April 25th. Explore exciting new programs like data science and analytics and cybersecurity, designed to prepare you for today's most in-demand careers. Tour campus, meet faculty, connect with current students, and sit down with financial aid representatives. Plus, attendees can enter for a chance to win a scholarship. For registration details and information about courtesy bus trips from New York, email admissions@canton.edu. SUNY Canton, your future starts here.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Sometimes the off-air stuff is better than the show.
Oh, it's great.
It's better than the show.
Yeah, man.
It's Bart Carlin on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, where you should be watching. You should be certainly commenting. We will get your comments in to talk about whatever it is you would like. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Frankie checking in on the Walking Taco. Walking Taco sucks. Literally store-bought blank in a regular bag of chips. Well, yeah. And that was, and another guy said, Frankie said, sheep will pay $13 for that at games. I don't think it was $13 what they were charging in Kansas City. It was like $11. It's like 11.
11's not terrible this day and age.
No, it
you know what I mean?
Could have been worse. Couch potato, just the name alone, I have to take you seriously. Honey barbecue Fritos twists are elite.
Twists?
The twists. I'll have to give that a shot.
I didn't know they had a twist.
Oh, yeah. No, they've got a
Interesting.
twist. They've got a twist.
Okay.
Knicks last night, I'm not getting too worked up by it. You put up 145 on the Wizards. Who played? Was it an entire G League roster for the Wizards?
Ray Santiago texted me. I'll tell you exactly what he texted me during the game last night. And, of course, he was there, producing the game. As
God bless that man.
He had a long day yesterday.
Yeah, right he did.
I barely dragged my you-know-what out of bed to do Rangers 11:30 pregame. He said, and I don't think I'm telling tales out of school. There was a creative word used that I'm not going to say on the air because it's a family show. He said the Wizards are a bad basketball team, and my response was they still go by team? Because I don't know what you call that. That's an embarrassment. How in this day, look at the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings right now, and you could say, it's coincidence. How do you have two teams? Like, if you're Adam Silver, and this is going to be Adam Silver's legacy here, whether he likes it or not, the Washington Wizards and the Indiana Pacers, who basically have the same record, the two worst teams in the sport, are both, and I don't know if this has ever happened in NBA history, both riding 16-game losing streaks. How in God's name is that possible in professional sports? No, seriously, let it sink in. Like, we live in a world where two teams right now in professional basketball have both currently lost 16 games in a row.
Here's the thing. I understand why this happens. And in the NBA in particular, the product's not good, but all right. You've got more to say on that, I know. But I can actually deal with it if I feel like my team has a plan. However, I am not going to financially support you while that's happening. I don't know. I don't ever want to tell people how to spend their money, okay? But when you go to a game and you know you're not going to see one remotely, not even star-level player play for your team because your team is actively trying to lose, when you know that you're the Utah Jazz and you actually know that your coach in advance, if your team has a lead, is going to take all of your starters out in the fourth quarter and make sure that you lose that game, which they did on a couple of occasions this year. How do you expect me to financially support you at the prices that are thrown out there?
And the NBA prices are not cheap. Not cheap.
I mean, I would just be curious to know what the average NBA get in the building prices outside of New York. Like, for instance, when I worked in Philly for a year, I bought a 10-game Sixers package, and they were lower level, and it wasn't that bad.
Were the Sixers good then?
No.
Oh, well, that's why.
It was. I bought the 10-game package the year that they drafted Simmons, and it was Embiid coming back and playing his first year in the league. But Embiid was playing.
That was the Brett Brown years, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And T.J. McConnell was still on them. They weren't bad.
They were ascending.
Yes, they were entertaining.
Okay.
Like, if you, not that you would ever remember this game, but like T.J. McConnell hit a shot in a game over Carmelo Anthony in Philly, and they beat the Knicks at the buzzer, and Embiid grabbed the cheerleaders' pom-poms and started dancing with the cheerleaders. Like, it was a whole thing.
I remember
they were fun.
Well, it's better you grab that than something else with a cheerleader.
Well, that's true. Well,
then there would have probably been a suspension.
But point being is, they had been atrocious, but they were ascending at that point.
And that was like one of the moments where you say to yourself, okay, it's start. But because, I mean, they were the process.
Yes.
Remember? The process.
But those tickets, they were lower level seats.
Yeah.
They were not amazing lower level seats, but they were like, it was a 10-game package, and they were like $58 a ticket.
But here's the other problem too. How long? That was at least, 10 years ago?
That's 10 years ago now.
In 10 years, prices have jumped substantially, even if you're bad. You know what I mean? Like natural inflation and everything. But, yeah, I mean, to your point, and that's the comical thing about the NBA, too, is, you hear all these things now with the league that they want to go ahead and have expansion and add 2 more franchises. So let me get this straight. You have a sport where you can't even get every single team in the league to try to compete and to win, right? And now you're going to add to the league, which is just going to create even more of a chance that you're going to have tanking and teams don't take it seriously, while, by the way, asking you, the fan, who has to pay their hard-working, hard-earned money to go watch a product where half the time a team can't even be bothered to put a respectable product out on the floor.
Here you go. Here's a couple of things just to give an idea.
Yeah.
Average ticket prices for last season, not this year.
Okay.
For the Miami Heat, what do you think the average ticket price was for the Miami Heat last year?
Okay, that's Florida. Average ticket price, which factors in all levels of seating.
Correct.
I'm going to say like $90-something.
$200.
That's insane. I mean, honestly.
$200.
All right,
and
honestly,
that's the Miami Heat.
Honestly. Who can afford that if you're trying to take like a family of 4 to that game?
I don't know.
How are you doing it?
I don't know.
So let's say
know.
average.
It's $1,000 to take your family to a game.
$1,000. Like, let that sink in for a second. And I don't want to sound jaded or anything, but $1,000.
Yeah.
To go to a game. You bring your family of 4, and then you throw in food, concessions, souvenirs, parking, whatever it is. Like you said, you're going to be out for about $1,000. Now, think of all the other things you can do with that $1,000. You go on a nice vacation.
But you expect me to go and spend that money in a place where you are actively trying to lose. I will support you in what your philosophy is. Because in too many places in the league, to your point, Dan, you know the Mike Tomlin saying about we need volunteers, not hostages?
Yep.
In too many places in the league, they need hostages. That like in Philadelphia, that was the whole idea behind the process is we're not an attractive place for people to come and sign, so we have to be able to get a pick high enough to draft an elite level talent high enough so that they don't have a choice. They have to be here unless they're, pull something like the Mannings did or anything like that. So there are too many places, Sacramento, Washington, it's death, and you need hostages. I will support you in that philosophy, but don't expect me to support you financially in that.
Well, and I'll ask this question, too. Let's say you're a fan, a Knicks fan, okay? Because the Knicks right now are good, okay? They're one of the teams that have a chance. And let's take last night as an example. Let's take Friday as an example. I mean, and you could call in, and I'm curious. As a fan, does it bother you in any way? Like, do you still get the same enjoyment? I mean, obviously you want to see your team win and be successful, but do you actually get the same joy out of watching a product like last night where you're beating a team that you should beat? That it's a no-win situation. Because if you win the game by the skin of your teeth, it's like, oh my gosh, how did that, why did we drag these bums around for 48 minutes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's either you blow them out or you feel like you lost.
Well,
like
it's a no-win.
It's a no-win. Friday in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So it's like, even when you have a game
Friday
like
felt like a loss.
It definitely felt like a loss. But if you had that game like on Friday, or last night, for example, okay, what did they end up winning by, like 30 or 25-30, whatever it was?
45, 113.
Like, if you went to the game last night, if you watched the game, it's like, when your head hits the pillow, do you feel good? Like, do you feel like you slayed the dragon? Do you feel like it's not I'm just saying, I don't think that you measure yourself against teams right now that are putting G League products out on the floor.
I don't think you measure yourself that way. I think all you can do is we expect to win those games. We better win those games, and that's why you get as annoyed as you do when they lose to the Pacers as they did last month. When you lose at home to the Pacers like they did I guess it was about a month and a half ago at this point.
Sure.
It's a no-win situation. There's no getting around that. But maybe it's your only chance to go to the game. Like tomorrow night, I will actually be at the Knicks game. Am I fired up at the fact that they're playing New Orleans? No, I'm not. But I expect that building to be rocking.
New Orleans is, but at least from that standpoint, New Orleans is like the '86 Celtics compared to the Wizards and the Brooklyn Nets.
Yes, they are.
But it doesn't make it any better. And like I said, you have too many teams in this league right now that are a freaking joke. And like we could sit here and, we were talking about this before the show. Like, I don't think you can, like, it's not even close. The NBA regular season product is hands down out of the 4 major sports, the worst product that is out there now. Like, and it's not, I don't think you can even entertain the notion that another team would fall in that, or another sport can fall in that category. Baseball, you play 162 games, and you say, well, unless I'm a diehard fan, like, do I really got to sit there and lock in every single one of those games? Maybe not. But you know what? Still a better product than this garbage.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt.
And they're not asking you to pay $1,000 to bring your family of four to a baseball game.
That's where my problem lies. You cannot – you can be the worst product. You can't be the worst value, too. Like, you're asking me to pay prices that I should be paying. If you're going to have me watch G League players, shouldn't I be able to pay G League prices for a night?
That is a fantastic point. It's a fantastic point. That's the thing. It's like, okay, so you feel compelled as an organization, you're going to put a bunch of G Leaguers out on the floor. You charging me G League prices?
Yeah, that's not happening.
Right? Is it G League night? Yesterday for the Rangers was Kids Day. When's G League Day for the NBA? When's that?
It'd be great.
Next Wizards-Nets game. Is it G League night?
But so much of those tickets are, whether they're corporate or whatever, and they've already been paid for, and that doesn't matter. It's the people who are having the individual accounts. I got a call recently from a team that I had season tickets for a year, 5-6 years ago. And
do you take the calls, by the way? Because I get bombarded with those. I get emails, calls from these. I'm like,
I didn't take the call.
Yeah,
but it's like, oh. Wow, I'm still on the list for that team, and I haven't had tickets for that in 6 years.
Let me tell you something. I don't want to sound morbid. Okay?
No, that's all right.
When you're 6 feet under, for a decent amount of time, you're still going to be on that list.
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be inventory that needs selling. Always. Especially if it's the NBA.
Well, I just, at this point, it frustrates me. I don't get fired up by winning that game. More than anything, I get encouraged by the fact that they take care of business against a team that they should, frankly, take care of business against. And now we're sitting at a point where they have, 10 games left, roughly?
Give or take, yeah.
Okay. I will be excited to see them make sure that they get locked in the 2 or the 3. They're a half game behind the 2 right now, a game in the loss column out of the 2 right now. And they are a couple of games in front of Cleveland in the loss column. To me, whether they're the 2 or the 3, I'm not really that worried about it. Now, the Cade Cunningham thing does make it a little bit more interesting to me because I guess the prognosis would be that he'll be back at some point early in the playoffs, but I still don't know what that's going to look like because it is kind of a detailed process for what his return is going to be. Now, I still, Dan, want to make sure that I am not playing them as long as possible. And people might not think that they're the biggest threat. And I heard a lot more about this last week. I don't remember who was saying it. I was listening to the Hoop Collective podcast, which, by the way, I just can't say enough about that. The Hoop Collective podcast with Wendy, with Tim Bontemps, with Tim McMahon is outstanding. You get amazing information in it. And you just get smarter about the league. I am not paid for that at all. I can tell you that it's just phenomenal. It's not even a company man thing. Anyway, somebody was saying that, the Pistons probably aren't. The Celtics are probably the Knicks' biggest problem right now. I have not gotten to that point yet. And I know how good Tatum looks. I know where the Celtics are. I have not gotten to the point yet, and it has nothing to do with beating them last year, where I feel like the Knicks are in big trouble if they have the Celtics in round 2.
Big trouble's a strong word, but I think I'm almost there. Like, I respect the hell out of them.
They're in trouble.
Because I think right now, if you ask me, Celtics might be the team to beat to come out of the East. Especially with Tatum
I think
back.
a lot of people feel that way right now.
With Tatum back, and again, last year was last year. Okay, but the way that they played while Tatum was on the men this year told you all you needed to know. And by the way, unlike the Pistons, the Knicks, the Cavaliers, the teams that realistically could come out of the East, Celtics are the only ones that have championship pedigree. The only team. You know what I mean? So they know what it takes to win in the playoffs. All these other teams, Knicks included, you're taking a flyer, and you're hoping that things break right. Like, the doomsday scenario for the Knicks is having to beat Detroit and Boston to get through the Eastern Conference.
Do you see a scenario right now where they wouldn't have to do that?
Maybe Cleveland is your only hope to pick one of them off. That's my point. In round 2. Whichever one you're not playing, you better hope that, let's say it's the Cavaliers can pick off the other one. Right. Because that's what I think you have to have happen for this team to get to the finals. Now, The Pistons thing, the more I think about the Pistons Celtics, like I really think, like, you know what, this Celtics team is legit. Like, they really are. And Detroit, I don't think that Cade Cunningham's going to be sidelined. You know, he'll be back for the playoffs, but, you know, until you see this team go out there and actually, hey, win a round, you know, is it too much to ask for them to win a round before we could say, oh, yeah, they're the team to beat to come out of the East? They're going to go to the NBA Finals?
See, I'm a believer, and it's not because of Bart. I'm a believer in how much I have seen of them this year, and not just against the Knicks, against a lot of teams, the toughness they have displayed. And there's no doubt to me, even though I probably, like a strong case, an exceptionally strong case should be made about Jaylen Brown being the MVP, when you consider that we all, as you pointed out earlier, expected them to be tanking, and that dude just took over and made sure that wasn't the case. Cade Cunningham's the best player in the East this year.
This year, 100%. Now, I guess he's not going to be eligible, right, because of the injury, so I don't think he's going to get the 65, which, again, that's all you need to know about the league.
But I don't think Jalen's still going to get it anyway. I think they'll still be talking about somebody out west.
Absolutely. But, you know, the other thing about it, too, is don't you think the Celtics, more so than the Pistons, if they have an axe to grind or a score to settle with the Knicks, it's more Boston. Because Boston probably, to a man, behind closed doors, they know what happened last year.
They couldn't hit threes. That was it.
No, but they know the aftermath, where I don't want to say the Knicks took a bow, thumped their chest, but remember the street signs went up in New York City. They named, you know, streets after Karl Anthony Towns and after Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, and Boston sitting there like, you guys aren't even in the NBA Finals yet. You're just in the conference final. So my point is that if they ever had to meet up again, I think the Celtics remember that.
I think what I think the Celtics remember more is how they lost. I think that would stick with them. First of all,
their own stuff.
It had nothing to do with losing Tatum when they did, because they were in a bad spot.
Series was over.
Yeah, the Celtics just died by the three in that entire series. That's exactly what happened. Their whole system for that series just didn't work, and it wasn't because there was amazing Knick three-point defense. There were open shots missed by the Celtics, and I'm sure that probably sticks with them in their craw, maybe even a little bit more than what you're saying about the Knicks celebrations.
It's like the Falcons when they were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl. Having that significant a lead, you think you'd run the ball, run clock. But no, they still were throwing it down the field, left and right, and trying to air it out as if they were down 28-3, and that ultimately cost them. Because it gave New England a lifeline. But not to get off the point. No, look, I don't think either one is an ideal scenario, but it's not supposed to be easy. You know, if you're going to make a deep run in the playoffs and get through all these difficult teams and try to get to where you haven't been in forever, it's supposed to be hard. And right now, I mean, in a perfect world, as I said, if one of these, if Cleveland is able to pick off one of these teams to do you a favor, that'll serve you well.
Agreed.
And I'm not even talking about dealing with whoever's waiting for you in the Western Conference if you're fortunate enough to get to the finals. This is more about just finding ways to get to the conference finals.
I'm not even thinking about the West right now.
It's just get to the conference finals and see
like
what
that
happens.
whole idea, Knicks match up great with San Antonio. Okay, just calm down. Everybody calm down. Let's worry about getting out of the East now is going to be problematic enough. But I'm not to the point yet where I'm 100% sold on the Celtics. You're right about the championship pedigree. You're right about everything you say. It is a different cast outside of Tatum and Brown and Derek White because of the trades they made in the offseason. But I'm not there yet where I'm worried as much about them as I am the Pistons when Cunningham's back in health.
Well, let me ask you a question. So what's your ideal when you're looking at the standings, if you can manipulate where you in a perfect world would like to finish? Because you said, so you want to avoid the Pistons as long as possible.
Right.
Which means 2-3 is what you're and I think we could pretty much, it's safe to say Detroit's going to finish first. Like I can't see the Celtics catching them. It's 5 in the loss column with, 10, 12 to play. It's not happening. So Detroit's going to be 1. The question is it going to be the Knicks or the Celtics number 2, which means you're looking at, in all probability, Cleveland against Detroit in the second round.
Well, just if I'm going to manipulate the situation, first and foremost, if we're just going to predict who the 2 play-in teams are going to be, that will be 7 and 8, I would expect that to be Charlotte and probably Orlando. And the way that Charlotte's playing, I would be very happy if the Knicks were the 3 and drew the Hawks.
Right.
I don't want to. I just don't want to see Charlotte because of how well they have played, and because it's almost like they don't even know what they are.
Right.
And they could just go out there and just let it fly, and the next thing you know, you're down 2 games to none.
Well, the other team too, I said, and it's not looking as likely now, but like last week or the week before, whatever, it looked as there might be like a 3-6 Knicks Toronto, which I guess could still happen. But the Knicks own Toronto.
Yeah, I'm not worried about
Toronto. So like that also would, even though Toronto's got some talent on paper, I think that would be a pretty decent first-round matchup as well to expend as least amount of energy as possible.
So I think we kind of agree that you'd almost prefer the 3 seed than the 2.
A little bit. Although the home court advantage is still pretty sexy. You know what I'm saying? If you could get a 2.
Do you think that? I don't think it makes that much difference to them.
You didn't have it last year.
No.
Right? Because Boston had home court in the second round. You were fortunate enough to win. Right now, if you, and I know you can't play this game, okay, but right now, remaining strength of schedule, Boston has the 3rd most difficult schedule in the NBA remaining, 11 games left. Knicks have the 9th most difficult schedule, 10 games remaining. Boston's toughest opponents, they have 1 with OKC, 1 with the Knicks, 1 with Toronto, 2 with Atlanta, 1 Orlando, 1 Miami. Those are the Boston tough games. And the Knicks have OKC, Boston, Houston, Toronto, Atlanta, 2 with Charlotte.
Bart Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. So the question is simply, where would you want to be set up here for this postseason? Do you want the 2 seed? Do you feel like you need home court? Or would you just rather have the 3 and, frankly, feel like you got a little bit less of a difficult path? 800-919-3776. Also on the way, we have got some sideline to sideline, and you just never know what else. And by that, I mean, I can't remember what else we might possibly be doing at the moment in this very second, so that is your tease. I don't even know what's coming.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Opening day's right around the corner. How confident are you in the Mets and Yankees this year? And St. John's advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999.
Darling now quickly, Darling down all the way to the hook, lays it up and flipped the buzzer. And guess what? St. John's advances to the Sweet 16.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Tricon Construction is expanding across New Jersey, taking on larger, more complex commercial projects and delivering at a big league level. If you're a developer who values precision, accountability, and execution, you need a construction partner who understands what's at stake: timelines, capital, reputation. That's Tricon. They're building the right way with experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team that shows up ready. Serious projects, serious results. Visit TriconBuilds.com, TriconBuilds.com.
1 in every 6 men is likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. That's why New York Presbyterian wants to remind men over 50 to book a prostate cancer screening. A simple blood test is all it takes. It could save your life. Screenings are available across New York City and Westchester at locations near you. Schedule your annual prostate cancer screening today at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
Start spreading the news. New York Yankees baseball is back in the Bronx. Come out to Yankee Stadium on Saturday, April 4th for a Yankee Stadium promotional giveaway tradition. Calendar night. The first 40,000 in attendance will receive a New York Yankees calendar courtesy of MasterCard. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Again, it's Yankees calendar night on Saturday, April 4th against the Miami Marlins. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
It feels like everyone's sick right now. You aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I was just traveling. It was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. Having a medical emergency kit is like having urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. It includes essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's your kit the moment you need it. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's genius. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. I can save you $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
There's a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Lease a new 2026 Mazda CX-30 2.5S preferred all-wheel drive for just $219 for 36 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda. Call 833-853-2970 for details. VIN TM108368. MSRP $31,435. Zero security deposit. Ends 3/31/26.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
Empower.
After wanting one for years, Kevin is finally enjoying his new hot tub.
This is the life.
He worked with Empower to help him get good at money, so now he can be a little bad.
Oh, no, not my phone.
Oh, Kevin. Kevin's phone may be in hot water, but his finances aren't. Invest well, live a little. Start today at Empower.com.
Bart Carlin, ESPN New York, and on the ESPN New York YouTube page, Dan Grassa is in for Bart today. Game time brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. 3 o'clock, Yankees facing the Cubs. 7:30, Rangers host the Senators. That is a 7:51 puck drop. For those wondering, 7:51 puck drop because of the Mika Zibanejad 1,000th career game hoopla and festivities pregame. 7:30.
There's a lot going on there.
Rangers.
A lot going on there.
Coverage begins at 8:80 ESPN and on the ESPN New York app at 7. I probably let the cat out of the bag there a little too much about the 7:51 puck drop.
No, and God, it's not Mika. God love Mika. He's been a great Ranger, but here's the problem. Like, normally, home game, Rangers, 7 o'clock puck drop.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 7 o'clock start. You know,
Yeah.
They never drop the puck right at 7.
05.
But because they're playing Ottawa, who's a Canadian team, tonight in Canada on Mondays, they have the Prime Video Canada hockey.
Is this what they call Hockey Night in Canada now?
Hockey night on Prime Video. So this is the game they're taking, which means that's why it's the 7:30. throw in the Mika 1000 ceremony. That's how you get a 751 puck drop.
10 o'clock, Nets out west to play the Blazers. Woof.
Let me tell you.
If you're staying up for Nets Blazers.
If you are a lonely soul, if you are, if you are at a transient stage in your life, you're thinking about your choices, maybe you don't have that person to talk to. I pray for you, but I don't know how you're,
Like back in the day, that would have been it was the only thing that came in on the TV. Like, it's not even that.
The rabbit antennas, maybe?
Exactly.
I mean,
all I got was Channel 9 Nets.
Who's the? I mean, you could be. I don't even know if Joe Tsai is staying up late to watch this game tonight. I don't think he is. No, I don't think Joe Leo ain't watching it either. Joe Leo's smart enough to know not. Joe Leo's going to be doing the Ranger game tonight.
Joe Leo will be checking the score. He will get home. He will see that the Nets are down by 10 in the second quarter, and he will go to bed.
I mean, last night it was while I was wrapping up with the hoops last night, the college, I noticed Nets were playing Sacramento on Sunday night. Like that's even worse.
Woof.
Imagine what was getting Price out there in Sacramento? What was getting Price?
I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of times now where when I'm getting tickets for an event, I am just waiting late and going secondary market, and you might get them below face value. That's kind of just what I'm doing. Tullamore Dew is the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. What do you got?
Trivia question. Okay, just take a guess. Without looking. Nets and Kings. Combined win total. Does half the NBA, at least half the NBA, have more wins than the Nets and Kings combined? If you understand the question.
Yes, if I took the Nets and the Kings' total wins, added them up, would half the league have at least that many wins?
Correct.
I would say, I wouldn't say 3/4, but I would say 65% has that many wins.
36 wins combined for the Kings and the Nets. There's 17 teams in the NBA that have won more than 36 games.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That's the game we're playing, Bob. How about that? Oh, man.
Let's hit the calls. 800-919-3776. We'll hit it with Javi in Queens to start us off today on ESPN New York on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Javi, what do you got, baby?
What's going on, boys? The not-so-big fella and the Supreme Patriot, the Jersey Dream Team.
I'm still big enough. Right now I'm plateaued again, and it's a little frustrating at 288.
Well,
it's a plateau situation.
Rick was reporting you already lost more than 100 pounds,
oh, that's
man. What's
Rick's
going on?
I almost cursed. That's because Rick's a jerk.
Yeah.
Oh, you lost 100 pounds. Shut up.
Oh, before I get into the Knicks.
If I got to watch Rick in a freaking schmedium one more time playing pickleball, that'll be one too many times.
Oh, the shirts with Rick's bald head, are those for sale, or was that just a one-time deal?
Was what for sale? I'm sorry?
Didn't you make a T-shirt with Rick balding on it?
I did make a shirt of because I was hoping that Gabby and Jordan, the two young women in the office who were playing Rick and Dave in pickleball leading up to the event, would wear these shirts. And they agreed to. The problem is, by the time the shirts got here and I ordered, trust me, I was paying for like the highest level of shipping to get here tomorrow. They didn't get here in time, and that thoroughly aggravated.
You have to buy the shirts? Like they weren't like an in-house distribution thing?
No, I bought it myself.
Oh.
I bought it myself. But there was one was an AI picture of Rick in 5 years when he's virtually completely bald. Or at least.
Oh, I thought it was a before picture of Rick before he went to Turkey. But again, it's a glorious.
He did say,
shirt.
"I will go to Turkey
really
before that ever happens."
Yeah, then you got a first class ticket to Istanbul. You got to be there.
Like Rick has really become the kind of guy where if you told me he was getting any kind of cosmetic procedure, I would believe you. If you told me Rick was going to get calf implants, I would not bat an eyelash at it. I really wouldn't.
So listen, guys,
the movie,
before I get into the Knicks, I just want to shout out St. John's. I want to shout out St. John's, big win. And also for the 12 o'clock hour, I hope it's a Tom Bauer exclusive. When Bart's out, I hope Tom Bauer owns the Power Hour, because I think at this point Tom Bauer is the Power Hour, so I hope he gets it.
Have you heard some of these, by the way?
I heard the very first one.
Where he literally,
I heard that one live.
He's blowing out his larynx or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah, like
I thought he wasn't going to be able to speak for another 4 days.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Has he continued the tradition of trying to do it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
It's a staple at this point.
What do you got on the Knicks, Javi?
All right, so with the Knicks, with what you guys are talking about, I always feel like the NBA regular season is a big fraud, but Boston is going to play OKC, I think, tomorrow, and they're more than likely going to lose that game. The Knicks are more than likely going to beat New Orleans, and come Thursday morning, the Knicks are going to be in the number 2 seed, right? So I do think it's important to get the number 2 seed. I just like having the home court advantage. Like, the Knicks have a true home court advantage. When they travel, they still have a lot of fans. And look at what happened in Jersey on Friday. That's why Joe Leo is not watching tonight. He said he's not going to watch any more games because that was like 99% Knicks fans.
Javi, did you watch the game on Friday?
I got to watch a very little amount of it.
Good, you're better off. That was the worst basketball game I think I've ever seen. And I've watched, 4th and 5th graders play basketball on the same floor. Organized. I was in some of those games back when I was in the 5th grade. That was an atrocity.
You ran better offense.
An atrocity on Friday night. I mean, there's enough time has passed, thank God, to where like my memory is starting to fade a little bit from what that was. I can't oversell it enough how bad it was.
I watched roughly 6 minutes of actual game time of that game, and I came away from it having already made the decision that I wasn't going to talk about the Knicks on Monday. But something changed. It basically was the fact that the St. John's people are not coming out and don't want to talk about it.
No, because it's – and I admire that. I said that. I admire that. Because, like, let's be real. I love college hoops. I watch it all year round.
Yeah.
You take in a ton of college hoops.
Yep.
Most people don't. And I don't begrudge them for that. I really and truly don't. Most people, they wake up in March, they fill out a bracket because that's what everybody's doing in their office. If the local team is involved for once in 20 years, they'll start to pay attention. The news will send camera crews out to, LIU and to Hofstra or whatever, and then they get this sense of community pride, for 2 or 3 days. And then as soon as they lose, it's over.
Yes.
I can't expect people to sit there and flood our phone banks about St. John's this, St. John's that, when collectively they probably watched a grand total of maybe 6 halves of St. John's basketball all year. And I admire that. Like I said, don't call in like a fraud, like you've watched them all year, and break down what this team is, what they aren't. A game against Marquette in January that compares to what you saw over the weekend. I admire that.
This is not the middle of Lawrence, Kansas today, where they are absolutely destroying that whole situation.
And by the way, we haven't talked about it. I'm only bringing this up because he's a Hall of Fame coach. I would not be surprised at all. As a matter of fact, if I was a betting man, I think Bill Self steps away.
I agree.
Right? He's had health issues. And he's too young to have as many health kind of issues that he's had. Meaning, the stress level of the job does not help.
No, and he didn't speak in any kind of specifics. But I did the Kansas Iowa State game a month ago out there. And Bob Valvano has a good relationship with Coach Self.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over to do the pregame interview, and I went with him.
Yeah.
And they were just talking about all the different, because Bob had a bypass years ago, and they were just talking so much about that. And I'm just saying, from my watching this interaction, he just looks so frustrated by everything he's dealt with health-wise that if you told me that, I'm not saying that there was any I'm retiring or anything out of that. I'm just saying, the amount of frustration that was on his face from what he's been dealing with for the last several years, it would not shock me.
Personal health issues, the garbage you got to deal with now coaching high-level basketball.
And all he was doing at that time was having to defend Darren Peterson.
Right, exactly. And by the way, next year it's going to be somebody else not named Darren Peterson. It's going to be another awesome basketball player who's probably going to be getting paid a lot of money, right? It's like Greg McDermott. We didn't talk about Greg McDermott, who's the coach of Creighton. Had a great run at Creighton, father of Doug McDermott. You know what I mean? He retired. He stepped down this morning. And that was kind of in the cards, whether it was going to be this year or next year. They already have his successor on the staff.
Is he going to coach on the Crown?
That's a great question. You think? Are you talking
We're
about a
leading
path?
with that.
Did a path open up maybe to the quarterfinals? That's another story for another year. But no, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like these guys are like stepping away now because is it really worth your while? You know, they've made enough money. Is it worth the aggravation in this new culture and world that we live in with college sports to put up with this? Like I saw Izzo say, and Izzo's, I mean, he's a dinosaur compared to all these other guys. All his contemporaries have since walked away, and Izzo's like, you know what? I feel an obligation to continue on during these tumultuous times. Tom, God bless you. But eventually, you know, his time is going to be coming to an end because it's just not worth the aggravation. It's not, man. Him and Pitino, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't believe they're still doing this.
Bart Carlin, ESPN New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
Don LaGreca, one of his reads, Viking Pest Control.
The Viking, yes.
And you talk about different pests that you want to eliminate, including
cockroach.
I buried those cockroaches!
The word is definitely not cockroach.
There's no extra A in there. First of all, I find it endearing, and I want you to keep doing it.
But that's not the way I'm taking it. I'm taking it as that I'm a moron.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York. And streaming live on YouTube.
Score up to a $50 bonus bet daily during March matchups with BetMGM's free-to-play fast break game. Log in to BetMGM, play as the point guard, and choose to pass or go for a dunk. If you score, you'll win either a $50 bonus bet or boost token. The ball is always in your court with BetMGM, where you can take advantage of special offers and earn rewards points on every bet. Make a fast break during March matchups by playing as the point guard for your daily shot at a $50 bonus bet or boost token. BetMGM.com is where you can find full prize details and terms. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age to wager and physically present in New York only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. All rewards expire in 24 hours.
Attention New York Verizon mobile customers. Score a massive win with award-winning Fios Home Internet for an incredible $20 a month guaranteed for 3 years. Switch today for savings you can count on. Call 1-800-VERIZON now. For new Fios customers with AutoPay, mobile and home discount enrollment required. 3-year price guarantee applies to the Fios base monthly rate only. Additional terms apply.
Discover where your future can take you at SUNY Canton Spring Open House on Saturday, April 25th. Explore exciting new programs like data science and analytics and cybersecurity designed to prepare you for today's most in-demand careers. Tour campus, meet faculty, connect with current students, and sit down with financial aid representatives. Plus, attendees can enter for a chance to win a scholarship. For registration details and information about courtesy bus trips from New York, email admissions@canton.edu. SUNY Canton, your future starts here.
50 years from now, will jeans be wide or skinny? Will email still exist? Will guac still be extra? One thing is certain. If you won the new Millionaire for Life from the New Jersey Lottery today, you'd still be getting $1 million every year for life. That's enough money to say, bring it on, the future. I will have that guacamole at any price.
Play the new Millionaire for Life today. Anything can happen in Jersey. Must be 18 or older to buy a lottery ticket. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Time to bench those other job sites and let ZipRecruiter help you build your championship roster. What's the advantage? Well, with ZipRecruiter, when you need to hire someone fast, you get them fast. But you also get the MVP for your team. Plus, ZipRecruiter doesn't make candidates wait to take the shot. It passes the ball right to them. Building your team or scouting fresh talent? ZipRecruiter runs the full court with powerful technology that immediately gets your job in front of the right players. That's why over 4.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. And why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster, smarter, and more efficient from post to hire before the competition can even cross half court. It's a slam dunk with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
Clinton Yates here. Game day brings the excitement. Your stay should feel just as memorable. With Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA and U.S. Soccer, you're connected to a portfolio of brands designed for how you travel. Some offer complimentary breakfast. Others give you room to spread out, space to stay productive, or extended stay comforts. So whether you're a traveling fan or part of the team, Marriott Bonvoy celebrates the moments that live on before and after the game. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day checks in.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Join DiPietro and Rothenberg Thursday, April 23rd for a special couch cast of Round 1 of the NFL Draft. Presented by Calandra's Bakery. The Jets and Giants have 3 picks in the top 16, and Rick and Dave will react live as the first round unfolds. From the big decisions to the big-time drama. Catch it all in this YouTube-only exclusive, and it's all from Calandra's Bakery and your home for football talk. ESPN New York.
Let's keep rolling. 800-919-3776. Dan Grassa in for Bart today. Bart and Carlin on ESPN New York. John North Bergen is up on ESPN New York. John, what's going on, dude? How are you?
How you doing, big fella?
You know.
My man Dan. That's my guy.
Johnny.
How you doing, Dan?
What's up, John?
I'm good, man. It's always great to hear you, bro. Thanks for taking my call. About the Knicks, man, you know, like, chiming in about that. Like, look, I believe it's like 13 or 12 games left in the season, but the seeding, I don't know. As of now, we're at 3, but my point is, like, it doesn't really matter. Do you think it does? Because, like, you know, like, these last few games are meaningless. So rest the guys, you know, let the bench.
But are they meaningless, Johnny? Are they meaningless, though? I'm sure they want to get as best a position as they possibly could and maybe get home court for the first 2 rounds.
I feel energized. by that.
Yeah, that's why I had to step in. That's why I had to step in.
I mean, listen, do you think whether or not they finish second or third is ultimately going to determine what their fate is for the year?
No, but it's also not going to alter what the perception and the expectations are from the fans and us alike.
I agree.
Right? This team, I don't care if they're second, third, fifth, ninth, they've got to get to the conference finals.
Here's what I will not be able to tolerate, okay? That all season long, we have sat here and said, it's an NBA Finals trip or bust. And then all over, I think a lot of people have said that. Maybe not you. I don't know if you have or not.
At least conference finals.
At least, but considering they were there last year, I think a lot of people have felt like finals or bust, including the owner who said it. Now, don't cop out on me then and say we're good if they fall short, because now all of a sudden, well, Tatum's back. Or, you know, that kind of mentality.
Fall short of
or Detroit's much better than we anticipated them being this quickly.
Fall short of the NBA Finals or the conference finals?
If they fall short of the conference finals, it's a massive disappointment.
If they fall short of the conference finals, all bets are off as to what's going to come next.
Yeah.
Something big will happen.
I'm still disappointed if they fall short of the NBA Finals, but if they fall short of the conference finals, it's a disaster.
I think that if they fall short of the NBA Finals, meaning let's say you go to the conference finals, I think you're also then going to have to dissect how you lost, right? Because last year I think that it left a bad taste. And look, if they lost to, how about this? If they lost to the Celtics in the conference finals last year, defending NBA champs, I don't know if it would have affected Tom Thibodeau's fate at all, but I just think that losing to Indiana where you were supposed to beat them, and nobody thought that Indiana was going to be a championship caliber team. And the way that they lost that series, I think that also spurred action within that front office. You know, maybe that's not something we talked about a lot during the season, but now, like, in retrospect, I'm looking back on it and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Maybe the opponent had something to do with it.
I think that's fair.
Right? You know, so like this time around.
I wouldn't say that we walked into that series with the expectation that they were going to the NBA Finals, but certainly you thought that they could win. You had a good feeling that they could win that series.
Well, I think it also had to do with the fact losing 2 years in a row to Indiana. Like getting knocked out by them again, this time in the conference finals. You know, and you had home court advantage, and you slayed the Boston Celtics in round 2. And then when you got home court advantage in the conference finals, you thought to yourself, all right, we're supposed to win this series.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't.
I would agree that if the Knicks had lost in the conference finals to the Celtics, Tibbs might still be the coach. I think that's a fair statement to make.
And I never really gave that a lot of thought during the years. Like, seriously.
That's a good point. I didn't
really
give it a lot of thought until you just said it.
You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. Are the Celtics the only opponent that they could lose to again this year to where you look at it a little bit more rationally from a decision-making standpoint and say to yourself, we don't have to do anything drastic? Or do you think they're still just going to do something to shake it up?
Oh, I think they'll do something to shake it up.
I do too. I think that,
I mean, if you watch what's going on in Milwaukee with Giannis right now, about how, you know, basically the Bucks are telling him sit down, and he's like, nah, when I'm ready to come back, I'll be playing. You know, that is really going to blow up here in the offseason.
Max Crosby.
Pretty much.
How'd that work out?
It's fair.
But I mean, look, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to shake up the core or you're going to bag the coach after 1 year. What's the likelihood of that? Like, what's the? I mean, look, easy.
I would have trouble believing they're bagging the coach after 1 year right now.
I do too, because here's the danger in that. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Is there anybody like currently unemployed? Well, I mean, Michael Malone. Yeah, Michael Malone, which I thought was going to end up being the guy last year.
But if you were firing Tibbs, what do you usually do? Go away from the kind of coach that you had, and Michael Malone might have been similar to Tibbs.
Right, but it didn't work out here with Mike Brown.
Yeah.
If ultimately that's how they fail. But the problem is, again, like last year when they did the whole coaching thing, it was such a cluster, you know what? Because Mike Brown was not the first choice. It seemed like they fired Tom Thibodeau with no plan. Because, like, when you make a move like that, you almost need to have, like, the successor already handpicked. Like, you look at some of these college jobs, for example, like what's happening right now in North Carolina. Like, North Carolina's a big job. Say what you want about Hubert. Like, Hubert's an icon down there. He's a Tar Heel. You know what I mean? So if he goes and you're going to move on from a guy like Hubert, like, you almost need to have the successor.
Yeah, you better have your guy.
Handshake agreement already when you make that move.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, like, I kind of almost see that with the Knicks now because, like, you don't want to have to enter an offseason where 3 straight years you change coaches. And if the latter 2 include searches to where, like, would you like the job? Would you like the job? Hey, you're our 4th choice. Would you like the job? Like, you can't go down that road again. Because last year still was a little bit of a head-scratcher as to how they arrived at Mike Brown.
Bart and Carlin, Dan Grassa in for Bart. ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York YouTube page.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Opening days right around the corner. How confident are you in the Mets and Yankees this year? And St. John's advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999.
Darling now quickly, Darling down all the way to the hook, lays it up and flipped the buzzer. And guess what? St. John's advances to the Sweet 16.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com. What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you can put your sports IQ to work on the games you know best. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. Buy or sell your predictions all game long. Trade every play with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
It feels like everyone's sick right now. You aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I was just traveling. It was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. Having a medical emergency kit is like having urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. It includes essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's your kit the moment you need it. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's genius. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. I can save you $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS-FM HD2, New York. A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They're not just window and door experts. They're experts at taking care of you and your home. At Pella, they find the products that meet your needs and their experts install them. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Discover why Pella is a trusted choice for homeowners everywhere. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. That's Pella.com/Eisen.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
I mean, do we really want to? I know we have him doing it.
Oh.
Are we walking the line here with Tom doing it? You know what I mean? I mean,
well, when you say walking the line, what do you mean?
A little socially.
Well, Tom, you feel good about it, right?
No, I just don't want to offend anybody.
I've always felt wonderful.
No, I understand. I just don't want to offend anybody.
No, I don't think
Bart has expressed that he's okay with it.
No, he actually is a champion of it. He champions the cause.
I understand that. But there are a lot of causes that Bart champions that I have trouble getting behind. Like, as they say, as Johnny Pickham's, John Winthrop, our boss, always says to me, don't be afraid to let the stallion run when it comes to Bart. And I say, okay. But when the stallion jumps over the fence and he's gone and you're trying to track him down, that's a problem.
I don't think you have to get into the stallions or anything like that. This is, I think, a legit initiative.
All right, Tom Bauer, the floor is yours. Since Bart is not here, Tom, what does 12 o'clock mean?
It's the power hour!
That sounded like the last noise that someone in a horror movie, probably the first person killed, makes in their life as the knife is cutting through their chest.
I wasn't going to go that graphic.
Yeah.
But all I will say is that from my angle where I'm sitting, I don't have like a clear view of Tom. I have a clear view of Ray, but not Tom. So when I looked over.
Is he passed out on the floor now?
Here's what I saw. The little speck of Tom between like the various monitors in there, I saw a forehead, and I saw it getting redder and redder and redder as that noise was continuing to surface.
Yeah. Did your head pop like a zit after you were saying that?
A pussy zit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turned giant red.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say there were any pimples that were popped, but I definitely felt a vein start to, it's throbbing a little bit.
Like right now, do you feel like I'm going to need a minute to regroup?
I might need a minute to catch my breath here before I, pass out.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I will say, well done.
Have some water. Breathe, relax.
Hydrate, Tom.
Yeah, gotta hydrate, as they say.
It's Bart Carlin on ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York YouTube page. Dan Graca is in for Bart today.
Hola.
You should subscribe to the ESPN New York YouTube page. You can stream the full weekday lineup, catch complete replays, or catch up fast with can't-miss highlights. Jump into the live chat, react in real time, make your voice part of the show. Subscribe to ESPN New York on YouTube now and stay locked in so you never miss a moment. Spent some time on St. John's earlier. You've made it clear you're not that interested. So,
I thought you were talking to me. I was
not you.
There's interest.
I'm at the audience.
Look, it is what it is. Look,
nice win for St. John's. You got to the Sweet 16.
No, it's an important one.
Pitino's an amazing coach, and kills me to say that. To me, I don't mean to pour cold water on it. It should have been a game that they walked away with against a very disorganized Kansas team that just could not get out of their own way, and you let them back in the game, but you did what you did.
Now, and the bottom line is this: if you like college basketball, and I know it's hit or miss, just like college football is in New York, I get it. This is a battle we've been fighting forever. But those of us that watch it and enjoy it, if you are a casual and you're going to just pop on the TV Thursday night, Friday night, because you have so many of these quote-unquote blue bloods, favorites, the bracket is, again, chalky, if you will. These should be some really good games for the remainder of this tournament for the next couple of weeks. Because the downside of having Cinderella is when they do make it to, let's say, the Sweet 16, that's generally at least one game you could count on that they're going to meet their maker. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be like Knicks Wizards unwatchable. It's going to be bad. So I don't think we're going to have too many of those here. We shouldn't.
No, I wouldn't think so either. I do not expect them to beat Duke, but I would expect that it would be a relatively good game. Spread is 7.5 to begin, which, frankly, that number feels a little light. Maybe we try to take advantage of some value there. But at the same time, hey, great story. Sweet 16, first time since 99, and I'm impressed with what they have done. And if they get beyond that, right now it's house money.
Oh, they have to, right? I mean, they did what they had to do. They had to get to the second week. No ifs, ands, or buts. There was no way you were going to be able to sit there and spin it to anybody that looks at this thing objectively and say that the season would have been a success if they fell short of week 2 of this tournament. Because last year was a massive disappointment. Yes, you lost to a Hall of Fame coach in Cal. Second round, you had the player of the year who was nailed to the bench in the second half. You didn't love the explanation you got afterwards. But it kind of fell by the wayside because it's college basketball. And you're not going to obsess over it. Like you said, it's not Lawrence, Kansas. It's not Kentucky to where they're going to be talking about this 24 hours a day. Nevertheless, I still think now you go into this game as a 7-point underdog, you're kind of playing with house money.
Yeah.
It
feels that way.
You're playing a team that was is still the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. By what universe do you want to subscribe to that says you should win that game? You're going to be an underdog. And by all accounts, guess what? Just going by how the committee seeded you, there's 4 teams left in the East region. St. John's is 4th.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's what they think of you.
And I think that's fair. When you look at the other teams that are there, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. Then there is a couple of other issues. First of all, the Knicks. We have spent time today discussing the Knicks from the standpoint of the 2 or 3 seed and what actually matters here in the coming weeks. If the Knicks found a way to get to the 2 seed, which right now they're a half game back, is that correct? I believe 1 in the loss column behind
Correct.
Boston.
Yeah.
Does it actually make a huge difference if they were to have home court advantage over the Celtics, assuming the Celtics is the team that finishes either second or third? does it make a huge difference? I personally am not of that belief. I think as long as you stay out of the 4 seed, there's not much you can do right now in terms of the matchups because the Celtics have clearly turned most heads over the last 10 days since we saw Jason Tatum come back, and have a lot of people now believing that they are the team to beat coming out of the East. Whether you're going to get the Celtics in the second round, as long as you're not facing Detroit until the third round, assuming that Cade is back until the conference finals, I think you're in decent shape, and I don't lose any faith in what the situation is. I have not reached the point yet where I believe that the Celtics are firmly a major problem for the Knicks. I know how they lost last year. I think they're a problem, but I don't believe that the Knicks are in a position where they cannot beat the Celtics.
Let me put it to you this way, okay? Because I know one season is different from the next, okay? Right? Every situation is different. The Knicks are pretty good at home, right? They're one of the better teams in the NBA. I don't know how you want to rank them just playing at home.
Mm-hmm.
They're not putrid on the road, but they're not as good as they are at Madison Square Garden this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's been evident pretty much since November. Does that concern you, or does that influence you one way or the other, having that home court advantage, the need for it? Because the Celtics, like if you look at their home road splits just this year, they're pretty even.
Mm-hmm.
Their record at home is basically the same as it is on the road. You can't say that about the Knicks.
No, you can't.
It's appreciably better at home.
I would probably feel a little bit differently had we not gone through what we went through last year. And the Knicks already being in that situation and already being able to win in not having home court. Dan, listen, the numbers probably don't back this up. And I will admit it is purely perception in the moment for me. But it feels like
mm-hmm.
that maybe home court is not nearly as important as it used to be in the league. Am I oversimplifying it when I say that? When it comes to the playoffs?
No.
You believe that to be the case?
I think in recent years, yes. I think that home court is not as significant as it once was.
Yeah, I just don't find it to be as constraining. Or, for instance, I can think back to series in the 90s and 2000s, and even further back than that, when you knew you had two pretty evenly matched teams, but it didn't matter because if one team had home court advantage, they were going to win that series 4-3. That was just going to happen. And I don't feel like that's remotely the case anymore. I feel like it's a whole lot more wide open now. Now, part of that might be the three-point shot because it so drastically changes how the outcome of a game can be affected if the way you play is to consistently shoot as many threes as teams do these days and the shot's just not falling on a particular day, or you shoot the lights out on a particular day. That might be the reason, but I don't think it's 100% the reason.
You know what the funny thing is, too? Like, we've seen, in all sports for that matter, to where, like, the home, I mean, which, I don't know, out of the, not baseball, definitely not baseball. I mean, we've seen, hockey teams go on the road, win game sevens. NBA teams do the same as well. Obviously, I mean, we saw, just this past year, New England going to Denver and win an AFC championship. We see teams win on the road now in the postseason. I don't know why that is. Is that because it's the changing landscape of ticket distribution nowadays and how, like, anybody could get their hands on a ticket if they really have the means to do so with the secondary market? And you know what I mean? Like, there aren't these, like, obnoxious waiting lists for every team to make sure that, your fans and your fans only have the tickets, to where it doesn't feel like you're walking into a lion's den, maybe like it once did.
I mean, you are seeing teams kind of adapt to that a little bit. I mean, isn't it in Green Bay right now where they're trying to do what they can to make sure that if you're a Packers fan and you sell off your playoff tickets, like, you may not be able to keep your season tickets?
Right, it's like you're selling your soul away.
Right. There are places like that. I don't think that's the prime reason. I don't think all of a sudden home court or home field advantage is gone because those seats are so readily available now at a premium, yes, but to everybody as opposed to just the home city.
Yeah, because I mean, you can, like I said, like with the internet and everything, like you can get your hands on any ticket you want to. If you want to travel, if you got the money, if you get lodgings and all these other things, you're good to go, God bless you, by the way. That was a 10 as far as.
Well, here's what go ahead.
No,
I got another one lurking. I don't know if it's coming or not. One of those situations. Normally, I'm a season twos guy.
Whatever science you had, I thought it was flawless.
Well, what I did was, and my wife gets really angry with me when I do this. I held the sneeze in.
That wasn't. You got it out though, no?
No.
Yeah,
it was a. And just.
Oh, you didn't. It wasn't like a
No.
quiet one. See, 'cause
No.
I thought if you were able to do that, that would.
I don't know what the medical. I don't know what your science says out there. Okay, but if you hold in a sneeze, she keeps telling me. People keep telling me that's bad for you. That you should not do that. And I have to say, I'm someone who believes in science. I come from a house of learned doctors. I would say that I believe in medicine, Dan. That particular medicine, if you're going to tell me that that does harm to you, I don't buy it.
Holding in a sneeze.
Holding in a sneeze.
That's what they say, like holding it in if you you have to use the restroom. You hold it in, it's not good for you. Some people have you
get
believe that.
uromycetitis.
Yeah. What is that now?
Uromycetitis? Seinfeld.
I was like, I don't know, take two of these and call me in the morning.
Which is a stupid Seinfeld reference.
Yeah.
No, I believe in science. I don't know that I believe in that science. Have we established anywhere where holding in a sneeze is bad for you? I don't. Ray, do you see anything online?
It looks like that the Cleveland Clinic, so, actual
those
source, they say it can cause damage to the eardrums and stuff like that because you're holding in high pressure.
Here's the question that I have just in general. What's the motivation to hold? Like, why would anyone want to hold in a sneeze?
Well, I would simply do that for you. Because, again, the way you reacted when I told you earlier that I had to sneeze was you immediately pushed back from the desk.
Yeah.
And let me get out of the way of this tornado. As Jill Fortenbaugh described to me on the first day that we ever worked together.
Yeah.
And I had to sneeze. And I held it in, trying to do the right thing. He said I looked like a walrus shivering, which I think is accurate. It's probably an accurate description.
I'm just trying to think if I've ever seen a walrus shiver.
But even if imagine what that would look like, probably similar to watching me hold in a sneeze.
Well, I would probably equate it to like what I thought was going to happen and what was on the verge of happening was almost like a fire-breathing dragon. Like, and it was just going to.
Well, my reason for holding in the sneeze was simply out of respect to you.
No, but you had insulation. So even if it came out.
But you expressed, you said earlier that I did what you would term a marginal to acceptable job.
Now, I would probably, let's say if you went ahead and did that, I would then probably want you to at least take some of the cleanser there.
You want to put the Clorox wipe and wipe down my face?
No, like the hand, they have this, because it's all in the hands.
Yeah.
It's for your own benefit.
Okay.
And everybody else's.
I don't think anything that you're saying right now has anything to do with my own benefit. I think it has to.
Gesundheit.
That was a real sneeze?
That was a real sneeze. Wow. Now, listen, did I embellish? Did I really just let it fly? Probably. Hit it again.
How deep is your Gesundheit?
I can't believe that any human being could sneeze that violently.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I could set off some seismographs if I needed to.
Caused a 2.1 magnitude earthquake.
That would set off an alarm or 3.
Yes.
100%.
But my point is, why would anybody do it? I do it just out of respect to you, that you don't have to worry about anything being expectorated from my body.
I appreciate that.
That might infect you.
I appreciate that. By the way, have you seen this?
I put myself in harm's way, according to the Cleveland Clinic, and Dan is ready to move on from it pretty quickly.
It's not that I move on. It's just this. We talked about this a little bit last week, and you're somebody who appreciates a good morsel every now and then.
Yeah.
You familiar with this 999 challenge thing at the ballpark?
Yes. 9 beers, 9 hot dogs in 9 innings. In other words, 1 beer and 1 hot dog per inning.
So and the Mets are introducing this year as part of their new things to do with Citi Field. Now, by
the way, Tom, we completely missed out on this. I was on vacation at the time. We were going to do a Carlin's Corner at the, what the new food is at Citi Field.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah.
So they trotted that out as one of the new things, but now as I'm seeing is advertised by MLB, It's several franchises that are doing this, and they actually have like the compartment where you.
So they're encouraging you to get hammered, is what they're doing. Okay,
it comes in a nice little tidy thing. Now, if you notice, the beers are not like pints, for crying out loud. They're little.
They're not Dixie cups either.
They're not Dixie cups. They're not quite.
Well, first of all, they're giving them to you all at once.
Correct.
That takes away from me being, having a certain appetite for that. Because do I want hot dogs and beer sitting to my right for 9 innings? I would like to have a fresh beer and a fresh hot dog if I have to do that every
they give
inning.
Them to you all at once because I don't know. Are you able to actually get up and keep going to get these things? I think they give it to you.
Chances are I'm going to have to get up anyway if I'm going to have 9 beers.
Well, I think you could do it at your own leisure. Like if you want to do a Joey Chestnut and just plow through these things by like bottom 4, if somebody could.
Is
by
that
all
fair?
Means, I think the way I interpret it is you have 9 innings to finish the job.
See, okay, I would say that is cheating it. Just as I would say what Joey Chestnut does is cheating it. With water, separating the hot dogs from the buns, all that.
Yeah, but that's vile, it's doing that.
Yes, it's not in the spirit of what hot dog eating contest is. I would say that if you're not doing it over the course of 9 innings and not doing it 1 per inning, you're not doing it in the spirit of the competition. Here's what's funny about this. When Bart and Maggie and I first got together, by the way, Maggie will be in tomorrow with Bart and myself at noon. So, little CMB reunion that clearly New York has been clamoring for.
Oh, absolutely.
But she will be here. But among the first couple of weeks, she made a comment on the air like she could eat an entire pizza. And I'm like, no, you couldn't. Like an entire large pizza.
Like we're not talking like a bar pie, like a thin crust, like a real like.
No, like a regular New York.
Gotcha.
I'm going to Joe's Pizza. I'm getting us,
$20,
one
large
pie. Exactly. Yeah. Like, no, you couldn't. She said, yes, I could. No, I couldn't. She came back. We did it on the air. She started eating it, and she's like, well, my plan is that I'm going to eat like 2 slices every 25 minutes. And I said, bad plan. What you need to do is assault your body before it knows it's being assaulted.
Right.
You have to get as many slices of pizza in there as you can before your body even knows what hit.
That's the same principle with the hot dogs.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yes. To me, because it's 999, the challenge really is doing that over 9 innings. It's not, I can jam it all in.
And here's the problem, too. When you're talking about baseball, obviously it's the only sport that doesn't have a clock. All innings are not created equal.
Exactly.
You can have a first inning that's 3 up, 3 down before
and I got
you
a
even know
problem
what
on my
hit you.
hands. Yeah.
But then if you get into like the later innings, 6th, 7th inning, then you got pitching changes.
I got pitching changes.
Then you got timeouts.
But you know what, though? That works to your benefit in a way because you got a little more time to go to the bathroom because you're going to have to hit the bathroom by the 5th inning.
How about this? Has anybody ever thought about this? How does the rain delay factor into the 999 challenge?
That's a great call. That's a great
because
call.
Think about it. If we got ourselves...
What if they call it official after 3 or 4.5?
What happens if, like, this is the last time that team is in town for the rest of the year and they got to do everything on God's green earth to get the game in and the rain delay is, like, teetering on 2 hours? You know, like one of those nightmare scenarios?
Oh, I've been through them.
You got all those food? You got all the food? You might as well just plow through it during the rain delay. But then when the rain delay's over, you come back, let's say it's only bottom 5, and you might be down to 1 hot dog left or 1 beer left because you've been destroying it during the rain delay.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Do you still get the gold star in the same vein as if you did it with no interruptions? Rob Manfred, when he came up with the pitch clock, he did not have 999 in mind.
But clearly he's been thinking about 999 if you've got several franchises doing it.
By the way, here's one for you. On that, so what you saw the merchandise.
Yeah, but basically you showed it to me. They have 9 hot dogs and 9 beers in a box.
No, but you saw, you have a visual of what that looks like, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think it costs?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah.
The 999 challenge.
At least in New York.
In New York.
Flushing, Queens.
That's got to cost at least $150. That's got to cost $150.
Our crack research team last week.
Let me see the size of the beer again real quick. That's not a 16-ounce beer. That's probably a 12.
It's Stand by.
Because you're right, those cups are not big beers. Yeah, that's a 12-ounce beer. Yeah, I'm going to say that's $150.
I haven't been able to confirm, but our research team last week, apparently, it was only in the $60.
What?
Yeah. 60.
That's an amazing value.
Because remember,
that makes me think those cups are a lot smaller than they look.
If you're willing to compromise your health and well-being, they're not going to hit you in two places. Your organs are one thing. Your wallet, they're going to keep a little bit more sacred.
I'm sorry. Are you familiar with America?
But this is America's pastime.
What happens
baseball.
when you go to these restaurants
Well, remember,
where it's like if you go somewhere and it's a 96-ounce steak, but it's free if you gotta eat it in under an hour.
But remember, they want you to come back.
I understand they want you to come back, but if you don't do it in under an hour, you're paying for that. You think that's $60? That sucker, you're getting hammered on going in, and you're getting hammered going out.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Could you even think about doing that? How far could you get
with the hot dogs?
Yeah,
and the beers. All right, here before I answer the question, what's the ideal day out at the ballpark? Ideal temperature for this to happen in? You can't do it on a 90-degree day.
No,
in July,
no.
you'll
I
die.
would say this is a 68 to 72-degree day.
Beautiful. Okay. I might only be able to get to like 4
of each.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking 9 innings. Yeah. If you told me I didn't have to push it, I could just let it go like organically.
Yeah.
Like, probably 4, no more than 5.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that looking at you, I would be impressed if you got to 5. I wouldn't be disappointed if you only got 4
Yeah.
in. I would think that would work.
I would have to, again, like, see it hands-on as to, like, because remember, all pictures don't do it justice sometimes. Like, I need to actually see this thing. I've heard that
can't be right.
The beer and the hot dogs are not, like, regulation size. Like, if you buy a hot dog, they're a little bit tinier than
Tom just told me that a caller told him.
Yeah.
No, it's a caller.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, this could be AI, all right? About as reliable.
AI
no
on
offense.
line 3, yeah.
No offense. That the beer's only 4 ounces.
That's what I mean.
What are we doing?
It's like baby's. It's baby's
If
first
we're not
beer.
doing this in the spirit of what we're trying to, like, either you're trying to get me hammered and sick or you're not. And at least you're doing it at a value price. That's why I knew $60, that's crap. Those beers, a 12-ounce beer is at least $12. At least $12. If they even sell a 12-ounce beer. Kansas City, Big 12 championship last week, $20 beers.
All right, here we go.
16 ounces.
The Phillies, the Mets, the Giants have all rolled out there, among others, and you saw a couple other teams, Kansas City, marketed versions. 9 mini hot dogs is what it says.
Oh, this is just don't even bother.
Are essentially pigs in a blanket.
Oh, come on.
With
come on.
9 shots of beer.
Yeah.
Served in a container that can only be described as a toddler cup.
You know what this is?
That's why it's $60, my friend.
This is them consulting with the attorneys.
It's a cocktail hour.
No, that's we don't want to get sued. That's all that is. What you have to do, as generally what you have to do at a lot of those restaurants where you have an eating challenge of some sort.
Look at that angle of the hot dogs. These are like this.
No, that's crap. What you have to do is you have to get people to sign a waiver. That's what you have to do.
This is like,
do you know
Costanza I was in the pool.
The one the 1 year that I was at Wing Bowl when I worked in Philly. Familiar with Wing Bowl?
Sure.
Massive eating competition.
Yeah.
There was a guy who was not medically cleared to participate. In other words, the doctor legitimately told him, if you do this, there's better than a 20% chance you're going to die. Because he
better than 20?
Yeah, it was something like that because he had such a massive history of health problems.
But you know what his problem is? He probably took that news as there's a better than 80% chance I'm going to live.
I think that's exactly how he took it, and he kept pushing and pushing and pushing to be in the competition. I believe it took up until the last day where he finally accepted that he couldn't be in it.
That this maybe was not the best choice.
Yeah. But when you think about it, a wing eating competition among roughly 20,000 people, in the Wells Fargo Center. It's amazing they didn't get sued years earlier. Amazing they didn't.
Well, because that's only when bad things happen, is when things like that generally take place.
Bart Carlin, ESPN New York.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. Rings End is your locally owned Benjamin Moore retailer. They're your store for quality with a full line of brilliant and durable Benjamin Moore paints. They're your store for inspiration with thousands of colors and a variety of sheens. And Rings End is your store for expertise with one-on-one advice for contractors and homeowners. Insist on Benjamin Moore paint from Rings End because the gorgeous color you love can't be matched in another brand of paint.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. I'm big on having the right game plan on the ice and at home, which is why I use Viking Pest Control myself as the pest control provider and proud partner of the New Jersey Devils. Viking has been protecting homes for over 45 years with expert pest control service and solutions tailored just for you. From ants and cockroaches to rodents, stinging insects, and backyard mosquitoes, Viking keeps pests out of your house and out of the play. Bundle pest control with mosquito services and save big. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Viking Pest Control, protecting your home inside and out.
Time to bench those other job sites and let ZipRecruiter help you build your championship roster. What's the advantage? Well, with ZipRecruiter, when you need to hire someone fast, you get them fast. But you also get the MVP for your team. Plus, ZipRecruiter doesn't make candidates wait to take the shot. It passes the ball right to them. Building your team or scouting fresh talent? ZipRecruiter runs the full court with powerful technology that immediately gets your job in front of the right players. That's why over 4.8 million businesses have come to ZipRecruiter for their hiring needs. And why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within 1 day. ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster, smarter, and more efficient from post to hire before the competition can even cross half court. It's a slam dunk with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try for free at ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. That's ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN. ZipRecruiter.com/ESPN.
New York Knicks fans, here's a total slam dunk. For a limited time, get Verizon Fios and a line of mobile for just $64.99 a month with AutoPay. Get Fios 300 megabit per second for $20 a month. And unlimited welcome for $45 a month plus taxes and fees when you bring your own phone. Visit a Verizon store today to learn more. For new Fios internet and mobile customers, discounts applied over 36 months. Mobile and home discount enrollment required. Additional terms apply. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Discover where your future can take you at SUNY Canton's Spring Open House on Saturday, April 25th. Explore exciting new programs like data science and analytics and cybersecurity, designed to prepare you for today's most in-demand careers. Tour campus, meet faculty, connect with current students, and sit down with financial aid representatives. Plus, attendees can enter for a chance to win a scholarship. For registration details and information about courtesy bus trips from New York, email admissions@canton.edu. SUNY Canton, your future starts here.
Adam Schefter here. It's tournament time, when only the most talented teams survive and advance. And whether you're cutting down the nets or cutting through resumes, one thing's clear. The best teams are built with the best people. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. Their smart matching technology finds qualified candidates fast. You can add screening questions to get the right applicants and even filter to see who's recently active. Score the best for your team with ZipRecruiter. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. That's ZipRecruiter.com/sports.
It's Rich Eisen for Pella Windows and Doors. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Pella Windows and Doors always has the winning game plan. They do it every day, and that's why your neighbors trust them. Visit Pella.com/Eisen today. Right now, Pella Windows and Doors of New Jersey is offering 25% off windows and doors or 0% APR for 72 months. Some restrictions may apply. See store for details. Offer ends March 31st, 2026.
Monday with Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Opening day's right around the corner. How confident are you in the Mets and Yankees this year? And St. John's advanced to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1999.
Darling now quickly. Darling down all the way to the hook. Lays it up and flipped the buzzer. And guess what? St. John's advances to the Sweet 16.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Bart Carlin, ESPN New York. The NFL Draft is coming up Thursday, April 23rd. And New York is on the clock. The Jets pick 2nd and 16th. The Giants pick 5th. And Rick DiPietro and Dave Rothenberg are breaking it all down live. Join ESPN New York's Couchcast, your second screen for the NFL Draft. Real-time reactions, instant takes, and everything New York fans care about. Watch along, react with us. Do not miss a single moment. ESPN New York's Couchcast on draft night. It's April 23rd at 8 p.m., presented by Calandra's Bakery. Bart Carlin, ESPN New York, on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Dan Grassa is in for Bart today. And let's do a little sideline to sideline.
It's going to happen.
This is Sideline to Sideline. Go. With Bart and Carlin.
All right, Tom Bauer, the floor is yours. Sideline to sideline.
Gentlemen, have you heard of the name Jaxon Smith-Njigba before?
Yes.
I am familiar with his exploits, yes.
I'm glad. Superstar reigning NFL Offensive Player of the Year. Well, he just cashed in on those claims to fame because he agreed to a 4-year, $168.6 million contract extension. That will make him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. He's averaging $42.15 million a year. Over $120 million guaranteed, both records.
You know, I was skeptical when he said that he felt like he should be the highest paid receiver in the league right after the Super Bowl. The fact that he got it is pretty impressive. I did not necessarily think that he was going to get more than Jamar Chase.
It's amazing how these guys just keep resetting the bar every 5 minutes.
I know, but I thought in this case it might hold a little bit longer because 40 was such a big number.
And I just think he was still on the clock when the Jets picked, too. And they took somebody else not named Jaxon Smith.
Yeah, it's good that you're holding on to that.
No, I'm just saying.
They also took somebody not named Jamar Chase.
That's true. I mean, you never know how it would have turned out, but it's like that's another one where you're just like, oh, yeah, got away.
Yeah.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Well, listen, don't.
Good for him and good for Sam, keeping his guy around, you know what I mean? They obviously have a good thing going out there.
Boy, there is no sincerity in your voice whatsoever.
No, sir, I'm being serious about that. I'm being serious.
I know you like Sam.
Yeah.
But
I like
also,
to see him
like,
do
you're
well.
just like, good for him.
No, but it's so funny, though, like,
we missed out on.
Like, wide receivers, and I know that there's only, like, a handful that are, like, truly special, better than, you know, all the rest. But it's one of those positions to where, like, you know, if it's more if you have the quarterback, you can make any Tom, Dick, or Harry a productive wide receiver. See Alec Pierce and what's happening in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? That's not a guy who I don't think is some immense physical talent. But the Colts are paying him like one, which that's the Colts' problem, not ours.
Yeah.
You know.
It also, I mean, the Alec Pierce number is just so out of whack.
There's a lot of out of whack Indianapolis Colts things, which why if you're a Jet fan, I think that first-round pick, one of the first-round picks next year could be a lot sexier than even you think it could be.
Ooh. Next. Look at Dan with a little tease.
Little tease.
So I mentioned Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Are you guys also familiar with a future NFL Offensive Player of the Year candidate, Cam Skattebo?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Why'd you laugh at that?
Future Offensive Player of the Year?
Candidate.
I like the way you said that, though. I like the way he phrased it.
And then you couch it with candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got the candidacy.
Yeah, I know.
As long as he has his inhaler, I think nothing can stop him.
Please.
Yeah, well, speaking of that situation that happened, he was on the Bring the Juice pod, and he had some, let's call them comments about CTE.
You think CTE is a real thing? No, it's an excuse. I think asthma's an excuse, too. Is that a hot take? No, that's a good take. That's valid. Yes, asthma's fake.
Is there anything worse than when you're in 4th grade and someone's huffing and puffing, you're just soft?
Yeah, just literally
be better.
Breathe air.
So that happened. In response, Cam Skattebo released a little statement. I recently did an interview and had a lapse in judgment, which resulted in me making a tasteless joke about CTE and asthma. It was never my intention to downplay the seriousness of head injuries or asthma.
Right there. It was never my intention to downplay the seriousness of head injuries or asthma. But CTE doesn't exist. And if you have asthma, you're just soft.
By the way.
Just breathe. But I don't mean to downplay it.
Let's be real. He's sorrier more about the CTE than the asthma. Because if you're going to die on a hill for one or the other, he'll probably take the asthma.
But apparently, his mother has asthma, too. And she said something along the lines of, if you knew how many times that Cam had to run and go get my inhaler, you would know that he was joking and all of this. Listen, I once again would remind you that I come from a house of learned doctors. So I am not in any way going to be taking the words of Cam Skattebo seriously when it comes to medical conditions, whether it be asthma or whether it be the lack of CTE. The lack of a CTE actually existing. I would say that there is a large degree of irony in there on him, perhaps commenting on it, but whatever, dude. Honestly, whatever.
What happens with that, though, is that you have, like, for example, there could be like a kid in the 4th grade who legit has, like, asthma, right? And it could be like a serious situation for him. But because they're young, they're impressionable, and they see their, one of their idols, Cam Skattebo, go on some podcast and tell the world that asthma is not real, he's got to hear about it, or maybe he's not even going to acknowledge the issue that he really has to have taken care of.
He just basically encouraged the bullies to bully the kid.
Correct.
And then now you also encourage the kid to take the inhaler, throw it aside, and start a fight.
Right.
Breathe, or go home and tell your mother you're a wuss.
I mean, it's how many guys do we see like come into whatever sport, this, that, right? Like, and just say things like that are regrettable?
Regrettable, but I mean, like, listen, I think we've learned pretty quickly with Cam, if you're taking anything seriously that he does or says, you're probably having too much of an expectation. Next.
So are you guys interested in flag football, or flag football being an Olympic sport coming up?
Holy crap. How about this?
That was something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there was a little game that happened. It was supposed to be overseas. They moved it to L.A. for reasons. And
safety reasons, Tom.
Yes,
it's okay. You can say safety
for safety reasons.
Yep.
And yeah, Tom Brady participated.
The grass isn't better there? They didn't do it because of the grass?
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't the grass?
No, it was not. It was not the MetLife turf that they were worried about.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, Tom Brady was there. He looked wonderful. Jalen Hurts there. Joe Burrow there. Team USA showing out against the NFL pros. It was a situation that happened in L.A. And I don't know whether to be excited by it or not.
I would have been absolutely livid if I were a Bengals fan, or if I was a fan of any team. If I was a Commanders fan, seeing Jaden Daniels coming off an injury playing in that thing, I would have been livid to see that.
When I saw those clips, I didn't even know it was like, I thought it was AI. I don't think it was real, because I'm saying to myself, like, wait a sec, this is Joe Burrow in particular, a guy who, we all tried to conjure up as best as possible a scenario to where maybe the Bengals make him expendable because they're paying him a ton of money, he's never healthy, and it derails their season.
Yeah.
They got this guy playing in a flag football game to where he's spinning, juking. I'm thinking to myself, you're the quarterback in flag football. I thought all it is, he just drops back and throws the ball. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. I thought that was how flag football works.
I thought so, but apparently not.
And he's sitting there spinning around, and all I'm thinking to myself is, that's an ACL. Like, God forbid, could you imagine if a serious injury like that took place in this whatever flag football thing?
Oh, I would have been beyond livid.
Like, we're sitting here worried about our baseball seasons getting ruined in the World Baseball Classic.
Because we've actually seen that have a major effect.
But that is like the World Series compared to flag football. And the same thing, the same
at the LA
catastrophe
Galaxy Stadium
happening. Which, by the way, LA Galaxy Stadium is, again, a grass surface which is tailored to 5'5", 150-pound dudes soaking wet. Not professional football players running around on, right?
Yeah, it's fair. I would have been so angry if any of my team or players were involved in that.
How is that even allowed? Like when do you put the foot down? Mike Brown, what are you doing? It is literally your franchise.
Like that's where you're drawing that's where you're saying that he can cross the line, Mike?
What's the reward? Like
you wouldn't let Trey Hendrickson out of there for years. But this, we're good.
Right. Why? Because Tom Brady's there? Because Tom says it's okay?
There's nothing in that contract that says you can't do this when all of these guys are held to physical activity deals. Aaron Boone played pickup basketball and lost his contract with the Yankees. I forget how much money it was.
That brought A-Rod here.
It did bring A-Rod here.
A-Rod's not a Yankee if Aaron Boone doesn't play basketball.
That's very true. It's very true. Next.
I think it worked out well for Aaron Boone. So there's one more story I have. How do you guys feel about a potential return of a star receiver to the New York Giants? That being named Odell Beckham Jr.
Why? Because of the one-handed catch he made in the flag football event yesterday?
Possibly.
I did see a highlight of that.
I didn't even know he played in it. Really?
He did. Oh. Yeah, and he made a leaping one-hand. It was a great catch. Amazing catch.
Well, he's trying to get back into the NFL, and he told Kay Adams about the possibility of possibly returning to the Giants. He says, that sounds great. If that opportunity presents itself, I would love to do that. Be excited about it. Dart's a good dude. He's young. He likes to dance. I like all that. So he looks like he's having fun. I get that opportunity.
Isn't it amazing when you have no options? You'll sit there and sing the praises of places you just destroyed and lifted your leg and urinated on in the past. With every chance you got, including guys who are respected members of that organization who never did a damn thing crass to you, the quarterback at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Listen.
I mean, what can we, like... I know that, like, eventually all the ships have to leave the port and sail away. Like, when will that ship, the Odell ship, sail? I mean...
I thought it had. I thought he had technically retired already, but apparently he's willing to come back now. Listen,
I think I saw he's, like, dealing with some money issues, too, I thought.
Well, maybe that's part of it, but what is the possible benefit of bringing him in at this point with a new coach?
None.
When all it ever was just he made one amazing catch, was a great talent, but at the end, it did not end up being worth it.
Let me ask you a question. Like, even, not just the Giants, I'm talking 32 teams in the NFL. Even if you're doing it for, like, a box office marketing, jersey, whatever, business, does he even have that appeal anymore? Think about how many other, like, guys at his own position have since come into the league and have established themselves as stars that are way more bankable than a often injured 35-year-old Odell Beckham Jr. is now.
The last time that he was a real factor would be the Super Bowl for the Rams against the Bengals.
How many years ago was that now?
That's 2021.
Right.
So, yeah.
We were still wearing masks then. That's how long ago it was. Remember the good old masks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 2021 or 22? I can't remember if they were fans at the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, that was in L.A. Yeah.
Man, who knows?
The L.A. Super Bowl, like where it is this year. So wait a second. You mean to tell me SoFi is getting
a second Super Bowl?
2 Super Bowls in a span of 5 years?
Yeah.
Are there no other places to play football? Like, really?
They haven't. Not many other places have built new stadiums, and
But
that's
still.
what they do it around. Remember, it hasn't been back to Dallas since the
Ice Bowl.
Yeah,
Or
and remember they had all
Storm.
kind of seating issues in the stadium at the time too. Like,
But what are the places? So, like, New Orleans was 2 years ago. Santa Clara we just had.
Yep.
You got Miami.
They had it twice there in 10 years.
Right.
At Santa Clara.
You do Miami. You do Houston.
Yep.
You could do Indianapolis. They've done that multiple times because it's indoors.
Have they done it multiple times?
Oh, yeah.
The Giants and then who else?
Stand by.
The Giants beating the Patriots a second time.
Second time, correct.
Arizona is the other place.
Arizona.
Yep. Vegas, I'm sure, is now going to be multiple times.
Vegas, there you go.
Yep.
Good call. Lucas Oil. Yeah, this is the part where you talk. I'm struggling here.
I don't have anything to say. We'll step aside. Bart Carlin, ESPN New York, while Dan looks stuff up.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Score up to a $50 bonus bet daily during March matchups with BetMGM's free-to-play Fast Break game. Log in to BetMGM, play as the point guard, and choose to pass or go for a dunk. If you score, you'll win either a $50 bonus bet or boost token. The ball is always in your court with BetMGM, where you can take advantage of special offers and earn rewards points on every bet. Make a fast break during March matchups by playing as the point guard for your daily shot at a $50 bonus bet or boost token. BetMGM.com is where you can find full prize details and terms. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age to wager and physically present in New York only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Additional terms and restrictions may apply. All rewards expire in 24 hours.
Life is motion, but for Jaime, debilitating pain in both hips brought everything, including family time, to a halt.
Every doctor told me the same thing. They would do one hip at a time.
At White Plains Hospital, Dr. Jacob Totka's unique expertise provided an alternate approach by replacing both of Jaime's hips on the same day.
In just 2 hours, I got 2 new hips, and I went home that day.
White Plains Hospital, among the best hospitals anywhere that just so happens to be here. A member of the Montefiore Health System.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
If you manage an active facility, you don't have time for disruption. Tricon Construction specializes in working inside healthcare, commercial, and industrial buildings without shutting operations down. That means tight planning, clear communication, safe, disciplined execution, because when patients are inside, when tenants are working, when production can't stop, there's no margin for mistakes. When it has to be handled professionally and handled right, Tricon is the only choice. Visit TriconBuilds.com, TriconBuilds.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-9087, 800-575-9087. That's 800-575-9087, or simply visit TRA.com.
Step inside the game you love with the NBA app. Tap to watch every game as it's happening.
Jalen Brunson does it again!
And never miss a moment of the jaw-dropping action. Get closer to the players than anywhere else. Follow the latest schedules, scores, and stats. Keep up with every story from across the league. And with NBA ID, it's all personalized to you. The game lives here. Download today.
Still marveling at the fact that you can honestly call 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 innings an actual challenge when they're giving you mini hot dogs and 4-ounce beers. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's one thing if you want to lean into it, but legally I would think that would be problematic because you don't want people drinking 9 12-ounce beers while you're at the game. But at the same time, why even bother doing it? We're going to make it mini hot dogs and 4-ounce beers. That's not what that challenge is. Answer me.
No, I'm looking at something back to the flag football thing. Like, that's another thing, too. Like, in a couple of years, they want to do this in the Olympics. Like, you want your favorite NFL players playing flag football in the Olympic games?
So here's the thing is that we apparently, which I did not know this, we apparently already have a U.S. team who embarrassed the NFL players yesterday.
But who, you know what? Oh, they're not. Okay.
They outscored them like 100-44.
I think if the NFL players are allowed in this thing, it's a travesty. If you want to have retired NFL players, be my guest.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady wants to go back there at 50 and sling it around. God bless you.
I think RG3 was trying to play.
God bless RG3. Let him go do it.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. You know, if you're an active player, hell, if I owned a team, I wouldn't let one of my guys go out there and do it.
Absolutely not.
But back to the
flag football. Don't tell me about competing for your country.
Right, get out of here. Right, right. I grew up wanting to play flag football for my country and win a medal. Get the hell out of here. But the 999 thing, we were talking about this before off the air. I'm curious to see how well they sell. Like, is this going to be like? Is it like once the gimmick is kind of over with? By the time you get to like the middle of the summer and the season's well underway, is this going to be like a main attraction still at the ballpark?
I don't think it should be a main attraction at the ballpark now.
Right. It should be something you want to do on your own volition.
Yes.
But they want to probably make it economically affordable because how much is a hot dog now at a ballpark? $10 minimum, right?
$9-10.
All right, so if you're paying 10 hot dog or 9 hot dogs times $10, so average $90 for the hot dogs.
Well, this
the
is
beers,
why I said 150.
Jesus.
I thought they'd put some kind of value into it.
Beers are what, almost like close to between $15 and $20? Even just your regular, Coors,
Last
domestic.
week, Big 12 championship in Kansas City.
Yeah.
The beers were 16-ounce beers, $20. Wow. $19.59, something like that.
Is that what you used to warm up for the game?
Don't think I didn't think about it.
Is that's how you figured out you had no gas? That's why it slipped your mind. You couldn't know that there was no gas in the car.
You got to do. Oh God, don't even. We didn't even get to that today. Running out of gas in the middle of Iowa. My brother afraid I'm going to cause a campaign incident. Like I'm Tommy Boy or Black Sheep.
Like if you're running for anything, your brother should have been there basically with like the National Guard to save you. Stranded motorists. Look what I do for the community. Not knowing that it's your brother.
He reached out. For those who didn't know, very quickly, and I'll get more expansive into it tomorrow. I'm sorry we didn't get to it today. I had to drive last week 7 hours from Kansas City to Chicago because flights were canceled with Courtney Cronin.
Yeah.
Courtney's a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
And even I warned Courtney in advance, like, hey, you sure about this? Because that's a lot of me you're getting here over the next 7.5 hours in a captive audience situation. And she's like, yeah, let's do it. I don't want to do it alone. I'm like, all right. Ran out of gas in the middle of Iowa. Ran out of gas. Who runs out of gas? First time in my life it's ever happened. And, of course, we were laughing. It was funny. He turned it into a social thing. I posted a social clip. My brother Jim is running for office in Iowa. You can go and do your own research on what that looks like, but he's running for office.
Yeah, lend him your ears.
It's not the first time, and he's actually been a state senator a couple times. But he's running for high office in Iowa. And he called me when he saw the post, and at first he's like, what are you doing? I got Bob Sacamano right over there, 10 miles from Marengo. He'll be over there with a gas can in 5 minutes. Whole thing. Bob Sacamano, all I could think of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we're fine. They're coming. Don't worry about it, And then the call turned from, is everything okay with you, to asking questions that made it sound as if he was concerned I was about to cause an incident for which he may pay on the campaign trail.
You know what made it more, not that you ever want to see anybody have this happen to them, but what made the episode more dramatic was that you had like the pending blizzard on its way.
Which I didn't even know about.
It was almost like Twister, but like a blizzard was coming.
No, the wind was
and you're in the middle of the
whipping.
cornfields, basically.
Yeah, wind was whipping at least 45 miles an hour. It was hailing. And I didn't even bother looking at the forecast. Hit the road. My wife texted me and said, by the way, you know you're under a blizzard warning, right?
But that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, you're not going to look at the forecast if you don't know there's no gas in your car. You know what I mean? Like, you're not worried about the weather if you didn't even look at the gas meter, the gas gauge, whatever.
I'll get into it deeper tomorrow.
God bless you.
Good seeing you today, Danny. See
Same.
you a little later in the week.
Yes, sir.
Bart Carlin, ESPN New York, Michael K. Next.
New year, new season, same goal. Feel good and stay in the game. But if neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or sciatica is holding you back, it's time to handle it. I'm Bart Scott, and I'm telling you to call Dr. J. Shaw at Soundwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is an Ivy League trained, double board certified, and he specializes in getting people back to living pain-free. No surgery, no scars, no long recovery, no pain medication. Just precise, non-surgical, image-guided treatments that work. Same day or next day appointments are available with offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood. Stop playing through pain. Go to SoundwellPain.com. Relief starts today.
This is Rick Brunson, the assistant coach from the New York Knicks. I'll be driving to our games this season in style in my new Jeep Gladiator from Princeton Jeep. My friends at Princeton Jeep gave me all-star treatment, and you can expect the same thing. Just mention I sent you, and they'll treat you like family. Princeton Jeep has tons of inventory and great deals on new vehicles. Visit Princeton Jeep at 1045 State Road in Princeton, New Jersey, or online at PrincetonJeeps.com and tell them Rick Brunson sent you.
It feels like everyone's sick right now. You aren't imagining it. Doctors say this is the worst cold and flu season in 25 years, and it's not over. I was just traveling. It was like everyone around me was coughing, sneezing, and sick. I can't afford to get sick, and I doubt you can either. That's why I ordered a medical emergency kit. Having a medical emergency kit is like having urgent care and pharmacy right in your home. It includes essential prescriptions like generic Z-Pak to help you get well faster, plus important antibiotics to treat pneumonia, strep throat, sinus and ear infections, nausea, even UTIs, and many more common and serious illnesses. It's your kit the moment you need it. Just match your symptoms to the right prescription in your guidebook or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's genius. Every home needs at least one medical emergency kit. Order yours online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. I can save you $45 when you use my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. Again, save $45 with my promo code 880 at